this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. With Mr. and Mrs. E.
Launch sequence activated. Prepare for light speed.
Keeping the missing relevant with Mr. E, Mrs. E. Let's not forget the sweet and E, and of course the best grand E, unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Auntie, is that you? Yes. Bring in the crime dogs. It's time.
Unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Mr. E Crimecast. I am Mr. E. I'm joined tonight by Mrs. E and our guest, Auntie. How's your day, Auntie?
Good.
So we're just keeping this marathon going, just doing
That's
lives
right.
every day, right?
That's
If you-
good.
So I'd like to welcome everyone in. If you were not here, if you were a member of us, many of you were here yesterday. We did our Christmas trivia. That was a ton of fun. We had a blast with that. A lot of laughs and a lot of fun with that. And we appreciate everybody joining us. We'll do it again later this month if you're for their members.
I fixed it.
You were able to fix it.
I
Okay.
fixed
I knew
it.
you were working on it today. I didn't know if what was the problem ultimately with it?
I had to disconnect our channel and reconnect our channel.
Okay.
And it was
So it was of much frustration to Mrs. E yesterday when it didn't work right. So we had to kind of improvise how we did the game. But
Hey, but it worked. It worked.
It was still a great time. We just had to use pen and paper. We were just old school with the trivia yesterday. So I'd like to welcome everyone in here. Perfectly. Is Amazon dropping something off? That's probably what it is.
I'll check.
The dog's losing.
Oh yeah, it's every day, like 10 times a day right now.
Yeah.
Somebody's dropping something off, at the door for Christmas packages, and we just have barking all day.
We have to swoop in there before other people make it to the porch.
If Granny's sitting with her, she'll talk to her and distract her so she doesn't know. But we've got one of those alarm things that it tells you when somebody's approaching the door, so she hears it and she's she knows that's what it is. So
let's so we've got a lot of our mods in here today. So we've got Jenny Machete, Dreaming of Blue Skies, Hobo Mom, Real Me Too, Sharon Marlowe, and I saw I wanted to point this out here. So Alicia Trantham says, today is my son's 3rd birthday in heaven. Praise Jesus, he is at peace. I could never be mad. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that, but so my heart goes out to you for that. I know this makes it a very tough day. We appreciate you being with us. And we have a super chat also here. I can't highlight it though. Can you highlight it?
You can't.
No, for some reason I can't.
Got it.
Kathy Matthews, thank you very much for that. She says, love all the E's. So we appreciate you very much for joining us here. And so I'll
thank you, Kathy. And I know you probably don't mean auntie, but we love her. Just kidding. Just kidding.
She did say all. She did say all these.
All means all.
I think she meant me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know Auntie was very missed when we did our Friday true crime weekly.
Oh, my stars, dog.
Thing there.
Well, I'm glad that people miss me when I'm gone. I'm not gone often, but sometimes. Oh wow, we're already starting out with big memberships.
Wowzer. Well, thank you very much. You did several last time too. We appreciate you very much gifting 10 Crimecast memberships. So 10 more competitors for that trivia. I think we might do it next weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna do another one Sunday, I think.
Yeah, Sunday seemed to be a pretty good day. A lot of you were able to make it in for that. So we'll probably do it in the afternoon on Sunday sometime.
So we're kicking the night off with super chats and gift memberships. That's awesome.
And if you received a gift of membership from Wowzer Wow, please tell Wowzer Wow thank you.
It always makes me think of Wow Wow Wubsy, that cartoon.
Wow Wow Wubsy.
Yeah. Your kids probably have to have gone through a certain age to know Wow Wow Wubsy because those shows come and go. But that was one that our kids were into.
Well, with Biggie, we get to enjoy all of those things
still
forever. Yes, I know. Well, some of them he's outgrown, moved on from, but a lot of them we still hear. But to give you an idea what we are planning tonight, so many of you probably know, but if you don't know, of course, yesterday was Sebastian Rogers' 17th birthday. So lots of folks were online celebrating that in different ways, and having live streams and posting pictures, and Culver's had everything. So everyone kind of picked different ways to acknowledge that birthday that is both that's bittersweet in its own way, And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that tonight, especially since Katie actually came out and spoke for about an hour on a channel called Duchess for the Missing, I think is what she calls, or she's changed her name, I believe. But Duchess, who many of you are probably familiar with, but she was the YouTube channel that got the very first interview with the Proudfoot that second week after Sebastian had gone missing. And so that of course was some interviews that we had, that were key interviews that we had analyzed back when we started our channel. And Rosebud is asking for prayers for her grandson who has been dealing with rebound migraine for over a week. He's only 10 and missing a lot of school, and his anxiety is debilitating for him.
Well, Rosebud,
Um,
prayers to your grandson.
Yeah, so sorry. Rebound
Yes.
migraines. I don't know what those
I don't know
are.
yeah. But at any rate, we definitely will send prayers for your grandson. Or is it son? Sorry.
Grandson.
Grandson. Sorry.
I've had migraines since I was a teenager, so I have some understanding of how I know they're all
you still
different.
have them all the time. So.
Yeah, but they're not as bad as when they weren't as bad as 30 years ago.
Oh,
20,
really?
You know,
They
20.
have gotten better.
Oh yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
they're not as bad as they used to be. I mean, they used to be
you
just
started when you went to the chiropractor. It helped a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
chiropractor helped me a great deal. So
Oh,
even
and
when
we-
I have them, they're not as bad.
And we even have more memberships. Thank you, Sharon Marlowe. She gifted 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Sharon, please tell her thanks.
Thank you very much, Sharon. We appreciate it. Of course, one of our best supporters. We appreciate you very much. And so, yeah, what we'll be doing tonight, we'll be going. I'm not going to play the entire interview. Many of you probably saw it. We're going to, and I've just kind of gotten to a point where I just really don't like to play anyone's entire video anyway, because I just don't know that that's really fair to the creators that do those things. So we're just going to kind of hone in on some key parts and statements. And a lot of it really is not particularly relevant to our purpose, which is as a true crime channel, trying to find the truth of what happened to Sebastian. It was a fundraiser, which was wonderful. So they raised, I think when I looked, it was over $2,000 for the fundraiser. And so that was all great. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. Yes.
I was just thinking, I didn't say, if you received a gift of membership from Sharon Marlowe, please tell her thank you. And thank you, Sharon. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I said that too.
We got more of our friends coming in. I see Nina Drew, Daisy Duke, Casey Chief for Life, Opal Sisk, and this was a cute thing I saw a second ago.
75 love and blessings to you all.
Love it.
Very good.
Love it.
Unique by Holly.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
That was cute. And for Rosebud, cacao.
Cacao. Yeah.
So that's for Rosebud.
So we're gonna do inside jokes from the trivia. Will we talk about the Yule cat that we learned about?
The Yule cat. Tell these people just really briefly.
One of the trivia, the Christmas trivia, where they were tough questions. One of them was an Icelandic folklore, and I thought this was the fake answer was Yule cat, but it was apparently this Yule cat is in Iceland is a creature that they say will devour the children if they don't get new clothes for Christmas.
Right.
That is the belief there. And I thought, oh, there's no way it's Yule cat. Yule cat sounds ridiculous. Sounds like piano cat or something.
Right.
To me, and that's what I thought. But apparently that is a thing.
So you can threaten your children with the Yule cat.
So
yeah, I think I missed all of them unless it has something to do with Charles Dickens. I missed every other question pretty much. They were pretty tough. But we'll do, I think, maybe Christmas movie trivia.
I think that's one. That was what was requested.
Yeah.
And then we've got a special idea for later in the month, but we're not going to talk about that
yet. Yes. So we're going to try to start doing more for the members and that kind of thing. Because you guys have done so much to support us and do the channel. We want to, do fun things to kind of pay that back.
Rosebud said, you guys, I just went from tears to a chuckle. Well, I'll do it one more time just for you. Cacao.
Cacao. All right. So let's
I sent you a cacao resource. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. You send me a lot of things. So.
But it's good. Just trying to help your family.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, Melissa says she's still traumatized by Elf on the Shelf. Aren't we all? I
think your cat might be worse than Elf on the Shelf. I'm not a big fan of Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah. We might have the next new craze.
What?
We could create a Yule cat And if a
Yeah.
kid sees it, they know that they need to be on guard and not complain if they get clothes for Christmas.
Yule Cat sounds like something that you would just make up for like a sitcom, like a It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know, like it sounds
Exactly.
ridiculous, but
Yeah.
apparently it's a real thing. Um,
It
well,
does sound like that show, very much so.
so we're gonna be talking about the Sebastian Rogers case tonight. I've kind of got a lot of different thoughts, just random about all of this anyway, that I kind of
And I haven't heard it yet.
into.
So
Oh, it's interesting.
well,
Yes.
I haven't had time today. I've been
The interview will
doing
be
so much
new.
stuff,
Yeah, the
so.
interview will be new to Mrs. E. Auntie, you listened to the whole thing?
And not the whole thing, but the majority.
So, this will be the first time that Katie has spoken, I think, in almost a year. I think since they did the America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, they filmed that like in February?
Sometime around there, sometime around February or so. So it'll be almost 10 months since she's spoken publicly at all. So of course that's interesting. I mean, because she's still the last person to have seen Sebastian. And she's the most important person in the case. And she's really not talked a lot. It seems like it in a way, but really largely it's been Chris that's done most of the talking, and he wasn't there allegedly. So whenever Katie has anything to say about it, you want to pay attention because she has all the information, the most relevant information about what could have happened when Sebastian disappeared. Right. One thing I think is really interesting is that this is, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking about all the interviews she's done. I think this is the first time she's ever done an interview alone. Is that right? If anyone in the chat can think of an interview where she's not had at least Chris by her side. I know there was the one on Fox and Friends we were talking about, but she was still on split camera with Chris. So she really wasn't completely alone.
Right.
And Josh from the lab says his personality shines through when he speaks.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Josh. No, UA says that she was on patrol live by herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On patrol?
Yeah, it was brief. It was very, very brief.
I don't even know what that was. Have I ever seen on patrol?
Yes, you have. It's very, very brief.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't remember that one, but okay, so this is just the second time then, at least.
Hi, Marlena. Nice to
And
see
somebody
you.
said she did a YouTube or a news segment by herself. It was real short.
It's gotta be it's the on patrol, I'm sure.
I bet that's it.
There was one
that's right.
with Fox and Friends that was
But she wasn't really.
but they were in separate locations, but they were both on it.
Both on the screen.
They're right. That news one. There's the news one she did with Chris that got hyper analyzed, but there's the same one where she messed up and talked about him in the past tense.
That's right.
That one was alone. So that's right. She has done a couple alone. Yeah. So we've got at least on patrol, and then the one at the 1 year anniversary. Okay. Yeah. So that there have been a couple. This might be the longest she's talked without Chris being there, and he may have been there, but you couldn't hear him in the background or anything like that. So anyway, that's good to know. I couldn't think of any other times that had happened. Yeah, I still can't think of what was on. Was there anything relevant that came out of that on patrol one? I just can't remember that one in my mind. Yes, that's the line. Nicole says, Mr. E, where she slips up and said, I would have been 16. He would have been 16 this year. And then she breathed real hard and fixed it. Yeah.
See, we're older and we forget things.
Yeah. I forgot. We were talking about it today and couldn't think of any other times, but that's true. She has done it a couple of times. Still, it had been at least around 10 months since she's spoken at all.
It's been a while.
So I've been listening to a lot of people, just their comments and thoughts about all of this, and it's still a controversial case. One of the ideas I keep hearing about is that there are no facts there are no known facts about the case. There's nothing to support that there was any kind of criminal element to this. That we don't know anything. He could have walked away. We should have. We should be completely open-minded to all possibilities. But that's not really if you're if you're seeking the truth, it's not fair to consider all bad possibilities when obvious, more likely possibilities are in front of you, right? So, like the stranger abduction, you don't treat the stranger abduction with the same weight as you do someone that's close to Sebastian, because the odds of a stranger abducting Sebastian are astronomically low because of his age, because of even just the ability to get him. Of being a 15-year-old special needs male, it is just extremely unlikely and rare that anyone would, a stranger would abduct him. It is far more likely statistically that a parent or relative, a neighbor, a teacher, a doctor, someone in his orbit would abduct him, right? So if you are seeking the truth, you do not give equal attention to stranger as you do to someone that knows him. You give almost all of your attention to someone that knows him with it's like the lottery odds that a stranger would abduct Sebastian. Okay. And so when you treat everything fairly, you're actually being unfair to the truth. There's a law for this. We talked about last year. It's called Lippmann's Law. It was an editor, he's a well-known journalist. And the idea was, if you're running a newspaper, you don't give the same amount of attention to the dark horse candidate as you do to the Republican and the Democrat candidate, because that's not fair to the public. The chances of that dark horse candidate winning are astronomically low. It's more likely going to be either a Democrat or Republican. So your articles and all of your attention should be spent, researching and interviewing the two candidates that actually have a chance to win. You don't spend time on a missing person case, considering UFO possibilities or stranger abductions or the really out there, super low. And that's just if you were looking at the case just with a brand new set of eyes, right? Everybody follow what I'm kind of getting at there.
Yes.
And then another thing we keep hearing, I hear this, I was listening to Astrology for Mystics, and she had someone come up and they got really upset and whatever. And they're trying to act like we don't know anything. We don't know anything. Well, we actually do know a lot. And I'm gonna pull this up here, because we just keep ignoring this. So I'm just gonna have to keep saying it until we stop ignoring it. He has an Amber Alert, and an Amber Alert has a very specific set of criteria to meet in Tennessee. So Tennessee, we have 500 to 600 missing kids monthly.
Wow.
About 8 to 9 a year, they say, gets an Amber Alert. Currently in Tennessee that are active, there are 6. Summer Wells, of course, Sebastian Rogers. There's an infant in Memphis. Those are the only ones even in the last 10 years that are still active. The other ones are from 2011, 2012. So 6 total active Amber Alerts in the state at the moment. And there's usually 8 or 9 a year. 500 to 600 kids going missing every month in the state of Tennessee. So there's a reason that tiny, tiny list is getting the Amber Alert status, and all these other missing kids are not getting that attention, right? So if you go to Tennessee's website, this is tennessee.gov, why are Amber Alerts not issued for all missing children? Amber Alerts are issued for abducted children in the most serious cases that meet the specific Amber Alert criteria. I'm going to say that one more time.
Okay.
Amber Alerts are issued for abducted children in the most serious cases that meet the specific Amber Alert criteria. Okay. Tennessee averages 500 to 600 missing children a month, many due to parental abductions or runaways. Our state averages 8 to 9 Amber Alerts a year. Overuse of Amber Alerts could result in the public becoming desensitized to alerts when they are issued. And I actually agree with that philosophy. If we put out, every time 500 kids a month went out missing, we put an Amber Alert on all 500, people would just glaze over it and not look at it. With it being 8 to 9 a year for the most serious cases, you pay attention. Okay, so next paragraph. An Amber Alert is only one tool that law enforcement can use to find abducted children. Abducted children. Okay. There's not really any wiggle room in that phrase, right? Tennessee
it doesn't say runaways. It doesn't say disappeared. It says abducted.
Yes. Tennessee also utilizes the endangered child alert for missing children list for missing children 17 years age of younger. So if
17.
17 years of age and younger, yeah, when they go missing.
Mhm.
So there's still active Amber Alerts for children that were like 12 and they would
Right.
be in their 20s now, but they stay
They're
active
on
until
the end of our show. Got
yes.
all
Yeah.
of them on there.
Okay, so it doesn't say runaways. It doesn't say, and there's a distinction here.
Granny B, we're sorry. We're going to be getting to some things in just a minute.
I wouldn't even
Yeah, so-
acknowledge
I just wonder. No,
you-
we are going to be talking about an interview later. We just haven't gotten there yet. Kind of
Yeah,
setting the groundwork.
Yeah, because this is part of the
But-
direction this whole live stream goes. Is they're trying to tell you that we don't know that Sebastian's in trouble. He was in trouble. At least that's what TBI believes. So what specific criteria must be met for an Amber Alert to be issued? The person is 17 years of age or younger, and the child is in imminent danger of bodily injury or death, and there is a description of the child, the abductor, or vehicle. Okay, so you got to have one of those three things or all three. And then number 4, on a request from another state or activation, there is a direct and identified nexus to the state of Tennessee, and the information is conveyed to TBI at the time of the request. And then it goes on to describe other situations with Amber Alerts and all of that, and that it is not a, you don't just slap on an Amber Alert. There is a long process, lots of hoops you got to go through to make that happen. Okay, so people that tell you, well, we don't know
No.
anything, we don't
Well-
have facts. Yes, we do have facts.
Well, UA is we are aware that UA is kind of on the other side of the fence than us about this, but she's saying a child can voluntarily walk away and still be abducted.
That would be a wild coincidence. So that would be kind of like your Lippmann's principle there. The chances that Sebastian ran away and then got abducted would be pretty astronomically small.
Do you remember when we did the show about the percentages? Do you remember what the percentage was of it being anybody but someone that he knew?
Oh, it was something. It was like in the single digits of these that happen.
It was 0.00001.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
It's astronomically small. So it's almost not even a feasible idea. I mean, it's
And Nicole has a question directly related to the Amber Alert. She said, Mr. E, they issued an Amber Alert early in the case. If they found evidence since then that disputes abduction, would they remove it or keep it?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. It might be in there. It might be in there. I could look
Criteria.
for that. It might be in their FAQs. I didn't read that, but it might be in there.
And Marlena says he'd also be caught on several cameras had he walked away. That's exactly my thoughts.
Well, there would be evidence of this too, right? So let's go with Crimson's idea. Let's say Sebastian were running away without any money, wallet, phone, or shoes. Okay. He decided he's running away. He makes it 2 miles down the road and someone sees an opportunity and they snatch him. That sounds extremely implausible, but let's say that happened. What evidence does TBI have that they're holding back to not inform the public? How do they even have evidence that occurred? And if they did have evidence of this, then why aren't they releasing that car information to the public to find him? What do they have? Why are they hiding? Why would they be holding that back from the public if it's a stranger? If it's a stranger, you would need to activate the public and say, okay, we couldn't make out the license plate, but it's a gray Honda, whatever. Looks like it's a 2016, this car, whatever they know. Looks like there were 2 people in the driver, right? But we haven't had any information like that. There's been nothing like that. It would be extremely irresponsible and incompetent if they had information like that and weren't sending that to the public. What's far more likely is they're working on an investigation on a criminal case. They have their suspects and they don't need the public's help in that sense.
Yes.
Now they said there was no information. Right. There is no information that he doesn't have shoes on. He could have had other shoes, but the shoes that were in the home were all accounted for. So we don't have video of him walking barefoot. We don't have footprints of him we don't know if he was barefoot, sock footed, or was provided or had other shoes somehow or was carried out. We don't know that.
Mm-mm.
That's true. We do know that this is an Amber Alert. We do know that TBI believes that this is an abduction, which makes it criminal. So that leaves you, and that he's in imminent danger, and he's under 17 years old. And they either have a description of the abductor, Sebastian, the vehicle, or all three.
They've got something.
These are facts.
Mhm.
The TBI could be wrong. They might have bad information, whatever. Maybe they made a mistake, but this is what they believe. They had to go through this criteria to put that Amber Alert out. They don't do this for everybody. We have lots of missing kids. We see them every day, even in this county. They don't all get Amber Alert status. Even the ones with autism do not all get Amber Alerts.
That's correct.
They get endangered child alerts, but they don't get Amber Alerts. So something triggered that. They have some evidence of a crime. And statistically, it is far more likely that somebody knew Sebastian has taken him from that home. Rosebud says, well, again, too, if he walked away, how come he's not on any cameras? I mean, we can take this right back to the street. He lived on, can
Right.
use that type of thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you can make excuses. You can do UFO theories and everything else. But the reality is everything points to someone that Sebastian knew removed him from that home. You got the Yippee dogs. You got two Navy veterans in the home with a background in security with cameras that weren't working that night. You've got a home in the middle of an upper middle class neighborhood in the middle of winter, and he didn't take anything with him. And he's surrounded by great security cameras. We've been seeing more and more of them from Mob Crew. There's a lot of good security cameras in that neighborhood. They capture everything, and they don't get him walking out of that house. At least nothing that the public has seen.
Right.
So they've got some reason to believe that something bad happened to Sebastian. We know the dogs didn't have a scent beyond the front yard, despite what anybody else tells you. That's the case. They'll tell you there's misinformation on that. The dogs didn't go past that yard, not with Sebastian's scent. So anyway, there are facts that are inconvenient facts that are ignored by people that want to pretend like every possibility is still on the table, and they just aren't. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of set that down before we get into all of this. Does that all make sense? Then you've got just the behavior of the parents, which is why everyone looks at them. We've been doing this Becca Park case, and if you have watched those interviews with that mother, it is so eerily similar to many of the statements that we've heard from the Proudfoot.
And demeanor.
It's spooky, and people are not that different. And she's now been arrested and charged with 8 different crimes involving the death of her daughter and granddaughter, or grandson, I guess it is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're not going to sit here and argue every point, but the scent dog, that's not.
Yeah, we're not doing the canine thing, but that's.
We've got clarification on that, though,
Yes.
that it was a false hit.
Yes. So I don't want to.
Yeah, the canine stuff. I'm not going to do the canine stuff, but Sebastian's scent ended at the edge of the yard. Track dogs and all that kind of thing caught other things. Sebastian's scent ended at that yard.
We have multiple sources on that.
So that's just where that is. Everything else is people trying to mislead you. Is my opinion on that. So let's get into, and I want to do this too. So there's also the idea, there's the echo chamber thing that happens. And there's these little clusters of people that believe that we don't know what happened to Sebastian or who's responsible. So I'm gonna play this. This was a news clip about Sebastian's birthday that came out yesterday, and this gives you also gives you just kind of what happened yesterday in this reporting. And then I want to go to the comments section.
Since he went missing from his mother's home in Hendersonville. And I think that most people who are on here know the case we're talking about here. Sebastian went missing back in late February from Hendersonville, and through an exhaustive weeks-long search, authorities didn't turn up any sign of him. Since Sebastian's disappearance, one of his biggest advocates has been his father, Seth Rogers. And I spoke with Seth today at an event that was held in honor of Sebastian. The Culvers in Clarksville and Hendersonville were handing out flyers. The one in Clarksville actually handed out free malts. That was Sebastian's Favorite drink, extra malt was what they said was his favorite drink. Sebastian has been missing for nearly 2 years, and his father, Seth, has been leading the charge in the search for his missing son. And we have all seen the countless leads that investigators have likely come across, countless photos circulating online of people who could be Sebastian or who may have been Sebastian. All those leads have turned up nothing. And Seth has even done a lot of searching of his own. He tells me he's put over 36,000 miles on his truck, traveling to states like Ohio, Virginia, Mississippi, and a handful of others with any lead that is sent to him that could be credible, that could lead him to the finding of his son. Every time that I talk to Seth Rogers, we always end our interviews with the same thing. And it's a message to his son saying that his phone number is still the same. And if Sebastian sees this, to call his dad is willing to drive wherever it may be. Even said today, he'd rent a boat if that's what it took to find his son and to go pick him up safely. Seth has really only asked for two things from the community: to keep their eyes open and to circulate flyers like this one, showing Sebastian's picture, that maybe someone that sees it could have seen him or knows where he could be. And with that said, if you have any information about Sebastian's whereabouts or any information regarding his missing persons case, you're asked to call the TBI, the FBI, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, somebody who can get you in contact with the authorities. The current FBI reward for information leading to Sebastian's whereabouts is currently at $50,000. And Seth's just asking for the community's help in bringing his son home safely.
So anyway, I thought that was also a pretty nice little 2-minute synopsis of that yesterday. So there's this idea too that that the public doesn't know what's going on, and that all ideas are equal. If you're in if you're looking anywhere than inside the home, you are the fringe minority. You're the outlier. No one outside of this tiny bubble
On YouTube.
on YouTube in this echo chamber believes that the problem is anywhere outside of the home, at least not anyone that actually knows about or understands the case in any extent. And so that's why I always like to look at the mainstream news comment section after this, because it gives you a cold dose of reality. Because when you're on YouTube, we're in a bubble here. So here's just the comment section. This first person who doesn't know much about the case goes with the idea that autistic people often end up in the water, and then someone responds, which is a completely reasonable notion. The next person says, well, have you seen the TRH video and all the interviews with his so-called mother and stepdad? Then someone says he didn't like to go outside without shoes, and cameras are pointed to the front of the house. Nothing caught on any cameras in the entire neighborhood. He is not a runner and never has been. I pray to God he's alive. I'd be questioning his mom and stepdad until I was blue in the face. Next person is, definitely question those in the household, their cell phone pings. I wish a more in-depth agency could help and have the resources to help. Next person is, and the dad kept saying, even if I have to get in a boat because most autistic kids are drowning in the water, but I sure hope the mother and stepdad didn't do anything to that boy. Next person, and question the mother. Next person, the stepfather and the mother know what happened to him. The stepfather probably knows where the body is at. The next person, Lord, please provide direction. Next person, my father would have gone crazy if I ever went missing. It goes on and on and on down the logical, reasonable, most likely scenario. And these are all people that likely just live in Middle Tennessee and they watch Channel 4 News. Probably aren't YouTubers, probably don't watch this sector at all. That is the consensus mainstream thinking. That's what everyone in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Sumner that knows anything about this case believes. If you're holding on to the ideas that the police and everyone else are not looking at the parents having some knowledge of what happened to Sebastian, you are the fringe. You're the flat earther of true crime, essentially. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Don't tell Aunt E that. I'm just kidding.
So anyway, I always go to those comment sections. I've mentioned it before, and then they got flooded with the bots.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. So now you'll probably see after this, people go in there and start defending that family.
We discussed
but up to this point, it's all look at the parents inside the home.
When you talk about this case to people who have some knowledge of it, and you let them talk, they automatically go to, well, he was last seen with his mother at the house, right?
Right.
Everyone says that.
Yes.
Everyone we've spoken to.
Yeah. And I've met a lot of people that are true crime people that don't know anything about the case. And when I say, well, tell me about it. What are the, I said, well, it's a difficult, complicated
It's
case.
very complicated.
And they said, well, what do you think happened? And I said, well, I think the parents know what happened to him. And I said, well, the biological father has a rock solid alibi. He was in a jail during the hours he disappeared. So he's out. And they said, well, why do you suspect him? And I actually have to kind of think a moment and think, well, what really were the big red flags that made me look there? Well, they wanted him out of the house. He was a problem for them. They were trying to put him in a school to get him out of the house leading up to his disappearance. In the year and a half leading up, they had 5 CPS reports on the family or on that house leading up to it. If you believe Chris, that's 3. If you believe Seth's team, it's 5. I don't know. 3 to 5. Either way, it's a lot.
One's
too
a
many.
lot. Yeah.
We know that
One's concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that he does not appear to have been a runaway in any form or fashion. He didn't take his money, didn't take his cell phone, didn't take any clothes.
Coat.
He wasn't caught on any security cameras, and it's an Amber Alert. And they really
The
had
facts are the facts.
Yeah, and then the mother didn't speak for over a week publicly when he first went missing, and rarely speaks now. It's been 10 months, you know.
You didn't see public outcries for help, assistance, nothing.
Yeah,
And don't forget,
and they're going to tell you in this interview, if we play these sections, they're going to tell you they spend all this time putting up signs and posters. There are no signs and posters in Sumner County.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of 2 that I see regularly. One is at Texas Roadhouse, and the other one's at the county clerk's office.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's it.
One of those is a Terry Lynn sign,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure who the other one is,
Mm-hmm.
because I know Terry Lynn did the ones with the little green ribbons around them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where all these flyers and posters are. They're becoming less and less.
Even the ones that we've put up are gone.
Yeah, the ones that we've put up are finally gone. But the flyers that you used to see on all the doors, I don't see them. The billboards, I've seen 3 total billboards in almost 2 years now on those blip boards. And I drive every day somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I drive into Nashville constantly. I've seen 3.
How many Riley Strain did you see?
I bet I saw Riley. Well, I know every time I drove
15 off the top of my head.
In those 3 weeks that he was missing, every day I drove into Nashville, I saw Riley Strain. He was absolutely everywhere. So I don't know. I mean, I have seen him 3 times, but in 2 years, that's not really a lot. So I don't know. I don't know where all this effort supposedly is at, but it's not in Sumner County because you don't see that. You just drive around, look for these signs. They're not like they were. And Terry Lynn did most of them back then.
Yeah,
they
she
used to be
was
all up and
out
down
all the time doing them.
The up and down Gallatin Road. You'd see those. They just eventually blow away and all that kind of thing. But they were there
have
for
to be replaced for sure.
Yeah.
But
lawnmowers come through and they get knocked down, all that stuff. But,
And to address Roll Damn Tide, I've always been respectful in chat, so I'm not sure why I was placed in timeout. Sometimes people get hit by accident. I don't remember anything that you've done that we would have to put you in timeout. So we apologize if that's the case.
Yeah. Hey guys, if that's UA, just UA. We are aware that UA has a different opinion than we do. As long as she's respectful, she's welcome here.
Yeah.
When we start being rude and upsetting people, and fighting with people, then, we might get a timeout or something, but I didn't do it.
Yeah. I don't mind that
not at all.
If you think differently than I think, that doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah. Just be respectful to each other and as well as us.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't like our chat getting angry. So, not angry, but fighting with each other.
Yeah.
No.
But it's okay to have discussions as long as they're respectful and kind. So,
and so I don't know. These are just kind of thoughts that have been rolling around in my head about this. We ignore the inconvenient facts that don't support that narrative.
She's just saying that. Only thing she said was that she's going to share Ken Widener saying about the scents. But yes, he's talking about the scents. But when you go into detail about the scents, you find out that that it could be a variety of things with the dog scent. That's all it was. So yeah, I apologize that happened. I don't know how to undo it. So
what does the timing out even mean? You get removed for a minute or 2? Is that what it does?
It just
I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
It just depends.
I think, I don't know.
It just depends. But yeah, the Ken Widener thing, we've gone into this on other episodes. I don't really want to get into the dog sense tonight
No.
and why we don't believe or not believe, but there's a variety of reasons that we know
Yes,
that the scent ended at the front yard. So.
If we go down the dog rabbit hole,
We'll
we
be-
really need to do, we would have to do a live stream on just the dog stuff because it is confusing.
It's a lot too.
But dogs, I don't even want to go that way on the dogs. So we'll just won't
that's
do
a
it.
whole rabbit hole
It
that
is.
I'm not going to go.
It is.
Yeah.
So
And we've gone down it. We've talked it out. We've looked through it. We've gotten
me
information.
too. It's fine. It's fine. I just want, like I said, as long as she's being respectful, and she has been in our chat several times in the past few weeks, and she's been respectful. As long as she maintains being respectful here, we'll allow her to stay. But
yeah, I mean, just try to keep
not-
it from where we're not arguing exactly
Yeah.
in the chat. We still
inner fighting.
Yes. Certainly no. Let's just try to keep it civil. We do try to be welcoming to all ideas. It's just it's frustrating for people that want resolution on this. So many people care so much about what happened to Sebastian and feel like justice delayed is justice denied at this point.
Right.
And the majority of the public, we feel like we know who's responsible and nothing has happened. And we're almost at 2 years. I know there's that 5% or so that still doesn't understand this case or understand that they're the target of the investigation, but they clearly
completely are.
They are. I mean, we could say we don't know this, but we know
It's
this.
completely.
And Melissa made a really good point. If you look at the history of missing children's parents that don't look, they already know. And that is true. A lot of times that's the way it will turn out. And sometimes it's years before you find out, or there's evidence or something.
And UA saying I'm Team Sebastian. I think we all are.
Yes.
But we're not going to bury our head in the sand when we see red flags either.
Yeah. I mean,
it's, like I said, I'm happy she's here. I like to have, I've said this a million times. If the sides, could get together and put all of their information together, we might have this thing solved. And I really believe that.
I think so too. If we could actually
just communicate.
And like I said, I think Crimson's probably been in our chat 4 or 5 times over the last
she's been great.
Few months or so, maybe. And she sometimes she agrees with things we say and sometimes not, but she's not been anything but civil with us. So to me, that's great. I completely welcome to that conversation.
I think it was not what she was saying to us, but what she was saying to others that started it.
Let's just be kind to one another.
I don't always see everything happening in the chat, so that there could have been things.
We are family over here, and we protect each other. So
yeah.
And it's not anybody's fault. It's over. Let's move on from it.
Okay. All right. So another. Well, let's just get into the interview, I guess.
Yeah.
That might be best. So like I said, I'm not going to play all of this. Many of you have probably seen it already anyway. It's about 2 hours. They did a fundraiser for the Autism Foundation, which is wonderful. They were able to raise $2,000.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
That's great.
So, and you know how Duchess just cracked 10,000 subs. So she was able to do the fundraisers like we're hoping.
That's what we're trying to do, guys.
Yeah. So
when we hit 10,000 subs, we're going to start doing fundraisers and we're going to let you guys pick them.
Good for her for doing that and setting that up and making that all happen, and to her subscribers and viewers that were able to raise that much money for a great organization. So that, that's all great. We are going to talk about the interview. I'm going to not focus at all, if possible, on content creators. So if you have feelings about Duchess or nonsense, any of these kind of people, we're just going to avoid that. We're going to really
let's not put that stuff in chat.
Yeah. So we're going to try to we're just really interested in what Katie has to say. And if there is any kind of, because we just don't really get a lot of information from the last person that saw Sebastian. So I think when she actually does talk about anything relevant, that it's of interest to us. So, but it is worth watching her channel.
I put it in.
Did you put it in chat? Okay,
yes,
great.
I did.
So if you would like to go watch the interview,
do it again.
It's about 2 hours long or so.
I think it's about an hour or so in before she gets to her. That right?
Yeah, the first half
or something.
The first half hour is not with Katie. She comes in at about the 40-minute mark here. But if you want to see a lot of the pictures of Sebastian and kind of memories that Katie had, Halloweens and going to the
Apparently,
park.
there's new pictures.
Oh, several. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has like a little slideshow she does, and all that's great. And I know many of you would like to see those because we really haven't seen, that many pictures of Sebastian. So if you'd like to do that, that's great. I'm going to play a little bit here at the beginning. So this is when she's first introduced to the panel. Oh, I need to share it. That'll
That would be
help.
good.
That would be helpful.
How are you?
If
Oh,
I were
I
you,
need to slow that down.
let's see.
Playback speed of 3 is probably probably not good.
I don't think my ears could listen that fast.
Let me ask you, if we have it like this, can you still play it?
How about like what?
Can you still play it if we are on screen? Just,
Oh, I can't even see the screen because I'm on the.
well, go ahead and hit play and let's see what happens.
Oh, okay. You want to do it like that?
I'm just asking.
There. How are you?
Okay, I guess. I don't have a word to truly say how I feel today. It's been rough. But I did want to come up and I wanted to say thank you so much for what you're doing and for the advocacy. And I truly appreciate you helping.
Gonna wait for the dog to stop barking there.
There's nothing coming today.
I
I don't know
know.
why he keeps running to the door.
I don't know.
And spreading the awareness and helping to keep Sebastian's name out there, and especially without all of the drama and whatnot.
You're absolutely.
So this is one of those themes you'll hear throughout. Is just a lot of time is just spent talking about the drama, the people, the coverage. That's just where a lot of this conversation is pointed. Even though they keep talking about how they want to talk about Sebastian, focus on Sebastian, they really spend a lot of time complaining about the drama. And she does it really in her first just few seconds here, being introduced. After this, for about 10 minutes, they go into various pictures of Sebastian and telling stories. So I'm going to skip on here a little bit until when. Yeah.
Oh, I was just looking at some different things in chat.
Okay. Is there anything you want to read?
No, I'm debating on whether or not to see if I can give him a treat and reset him to keep him from growling at the door.
Maybe Lily could do that. Is she here?
Yeah, but I'll be back in a minute. I'm sure I'm not going to miss anything too crazy.
Well, I was going to, yeah.
I am?
Yeah, you want to hear this one.
Okay.
So do this one and then go do the treat.
Okay.
Okay. This won't take long.
Oh, I was going to say to Angel Wing, she's like, dang, I didn't know you were on. And we're just getting into it, really. I know it's 53 minutes in, but
yeah,
we're just kind of starting to really get into it at this point.
Yeah, we're just now getting into certain parts of the interview that we wanted to highlight here. So this is a little bit after she's told some different, about 10 minutes of storytelling of Sebastian.
He enjoyed himself.
Yes. Yeah. So
there goes those dogs again.
Can't. Oh, the dogs. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Oh, her dogs. Are those her dogs barking?
I think so.
Oh, the dogs that never bark.
Right.
Huh.
He enjoyed himself.
Yes. Yeah. So Sebastian was sensitive or is sensitive to.
The was is. Yeah. And, at this point, she's heard all of the deception detective stuff, the Peter Hyatts, she knows what all these people are looking for.
She's been coached. She's been coached.
That's why, to a certain extent,
coached in her own mind. Maybe I wouldn't say there's anybody outside coaching her.
No,
well, I would say that people would probably tell her, don't forget not to use past tense.
Why would they tell an innocent mom that?
I'm saying people that might have some knowledge of what happened besides her. Giving her reminders. If you do this, make sure you don't do that.
I would think
they've heard
personal editing is what I think it is.
Right. That's what I think she meant.
I'm not going to try to be flipping on the other coin, but I mean,
well, don't.
Okay, I'll stop.
Well, it's actually the Lippmann's principle.
Right.
Don't give people This is another
This is
little
a
pet
problem
peeve.
I have.
It's a problem you have.
Mhm.
But there's also the giving people the benefit of the doubt. Why should you give people the benefit
I
of the
give
doubt?
everybody the benefit of the doubt.
You shouldn't.
I do though.
Why,
You
why
know
would
I
you?
do.
Why would you give, like in the Becca Park situation, all those people surrounding her? Why would you give any of them the benefit of the doubt?
I didn't.
They have
I
a-
didn't at all.
They all have a
I told you
lifetime.
immediately that,
Yes.
that something was wrong.
Right. So
Right.
So really, when you give people just a blanket benefit of the doubt, you're actually you're giving equal weight to innocence and guilt where there shouldn't be.
I know
If people
what
have a
you're saying.
history of poor decision making, violence, whatever it is, you don't give people the blanket benefit of the doubt in that situation. People the pattern recognition. It's just one of those.
I've never wanted to believe that this was a possibility. I
Oh.
think that deep down,
Oh,
I
no.
never wanted.
Nobody
to believe
does. Nobody
that
does.
someone would hurt a child in our community. Never wanted to believe that.
Their
Nobody
own.
does. Nobody
We,
does.
You know.
we don't know for sure.
I
There's
know.
nobody been arrested. No, nothing
All-
like that's happened. But
Right.
we definitely believe that they are the prime suspects. Right?
Whatever happened,
But I don't want to believe that in my heart.
whatever
don't wanna
happened, I
that.
believe they know what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Being a mother, I just don't want to believe that anybody would do that. But you're right. With the Rebecca Park situation, I immediately said, no, there's something wrong here. They did something.
Yeah.
I said it to you immediately. Dreaming of Blue Sky has been a member for 17 months. And she said 17 months hanging with the coolest true crime peeps. Thank you, Dreaming. We appreciate you so much. I can't even tell you how much we appreciate you. Thank you.
And I like Hollerish's comment. She says, I give benefit of the doubt, but my eyes are wide open, as are my
Ooh,
ears.
I like that comment.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
That is a good
I just have, I will look for the good in people. I cannot help it.
Oh, I'll tell you this.
I'm the forever skeptic.
I'm a skeptic too. You know that. But
You
I
are.
also look for good in people. You know I do that too.
Yes, you do, but I don't necessarily do that.
I give people a
I'm
chance
very-
until they give me a reason to not. And then that's the end for me.
And you haven't had enough reasons?
You're right. You're right.
And this is also similar for me. I even had this today listening to this interview. I still have sympathy or empathy for Katie. And
who doesn't feel sorry
I
for a
do.
mom? Well,
no matter what happened, I still do.
We're rewatching. I told you we've been days into the Murdaugh trial, and you feel sorry for him when he's on the witness stand and he is crying. His family is crying, and they're saying there's no way he could ever do this. He loved them. They had the best family relationship. I mean, you don't want to believe it, even though I know what happens. I know he's convicted, but you still. When you watch him, you want to believe there's no way he could possibly do this. You want to believe that. So I understand that.
Well, what's her name that we watched her trial?
Megan Boswell?
Yeah, even though I knew what she did.
Oh, no. I just thought she looked mean from the get-go.
Well,
But I felt bad for her when she was getting sentenced,
when
actually.
she was getting
I felt some sympathy.
until she started blaming everybody but
Yeah,
herself. And then I was done.
Right.
I didn't care.
I didn't feel sorry for her.
And Nina Drew, thank you for the super sticker. You know what, that Nina does that whenever she thinks I need to be cheered up. It feels like, I think there's a pattern. Whenever she thinks I'm getting down, she sends me a smiley face.
Yeah,
and it's the sweetest thing in the whole world. And I appreciate it so much.
Oh, and I love this comment too. She said, I pray for everyone, but I go with my heart and let God handle them.
That's right. That's a great approach. That's a great approach. And also, Wannabe Sleuth and Something's been a member for 2 months. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
There's also the idea of like having the open mind, but of
Real me too. And I get it. I think you were in as it was happening. I watched it afterwards, and I just, you just see all the family pictures and all the other family members crying and saying they don't think he could have done it. It's hard. It's a hard one. I don't feel bad for him, but
actually, I think Real Me Too said the same thing when I was talking about having empathy for Megan Boswell back during the trial. She was like, I don't feel that for her at all. I get it. I do understand. I'm just saying
she's another one that's the best.
Yeah.
She's just the best.
Can you throw up our email, please?
I sure can. I think I turned Nightbot off.
You did yesterday.
Probably appreciate.
So here's another idea of having the open mind, looking at all this kind of stuff too, is having an open mind, but also having some foot in reality. Like, do you remember I think about this one all the time, as far as the misinformation and all this that when they were trying to push the 4-hour break for Seth Rogers at the jail, which was just
Oh,
absurd.
Right.
There's a point where having an open mind is okay, but then there's a point where you reach gullible. If you got hoaxed, and you shouldn't have. You don't want to have such an open mind that you buy every crazy, thing that gets thrown out there. That's not possible if you actually step back and think about it. Nobody gets 4-hour breaks from jails.
And Pete Carts, this is a good point. My thinking is I give the benefit of the doubt. If there's a 0.5% chance he's out there, I don't want to convince others to stop looking because I think he's no longer with us.
Right. And he could be. So even if you go by the Amber Alert, he could have left the home alive. And that, we don't know what happened.
We don't have any evidence to indicate he didn't.
Right. We don't know. So he may have gotten in trouble or hurt afterward, but we don't know in what state he left the home. I truly have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that TBI believes he was in imminent danger enough to put out an Amber Alert. So they may not have known at that point if he was alive or not either, but believed he was in some big trouble. And,
right.
And that's why they did the alert. They didn't believe he walked away. They didn't believe he wandered off into the woods. They didn't believe he was chasing a cat. They didn't believe he was meeting up with someone to go hitchhiking across the country, or that it was some kind of parental issue or anything like that. They believe he was in imminent danger. So when you hear people say, well, we don't know anything. Yes, we do. We know what TBI believes. We know they believe that Sebastian was abducted and that he was in big trouble and in danger, because they had to go through several hoops to make that Amber Alert happen.
Right.
So anyway, we'll get back to this. I want to play this again, just for those of you that missed it there, but she switches from the past tense to present tense.
He enjoyed himself.
Yes. Yeah. So Sebastian was sensitive, or is sensitive to like sudden loud noises bother him, or loud noises bother him. But if it's something that he's enjoying or having fun with, he tends to cope a little bit better with it.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I want to go ahead here to let's see. This is where she'll kind of address Sebastian. She's asked, what do you want to tell him?
I had to look up who Dr. Pepper Princess was. I know who it is, but they changed their name and they're one of our mods. I'm like, when did I let Dr. Pepper Princess be a moderator? I don't know. But now I do. I know who it is.
Am I at the right spot?
Be incredibly difficult for you, but
I just want him to know that he's loved and that we're out here and that we're still looking for him.
Absolutely. And we're
That
here
was-
just to help support in any way that we can. And for all of the parents, and I feel like that this is the time that we need to bring the focus back to Sebastian.
absolutely.
So, and I appreciate you, coming up and sharing, your memories about these wonderful pictures that you sent us today, because it helped.
Okay, I'm going to get ahead here to when she talks again.
Yes, I know who it is. I wasn't going to out you, but yes, I knew who it was. I checked my, there's a neat feature where you can see what every comment somebody's made. So.
We all love him so much, not just me and both his dads, but the whole family. We all love him. And it's just incredibly difficult not having him home and not knowing where he is and if he's okay. But I know in my heart we're going to find him, because we're not going to stop looking. None of us are. Good, bad, and ugly aside, we all love him and we all have the goal of bringing him home.
So this is another thing she does throughout, is she's actually done this in several interviews. It's never just her. There's always the we. It's always we, the dads, everyone. We all, it's never how she feels. It's always a group. It's a we. I don't know what meaning there is to that but there's just something off about that to me.
Well, I think it's because, I don't know, people just kind of feel, what's the word? I mean, it's obvious that, that the grandparents, the Proudfoot or the Bowersox grandparents never took him on vacation. It's
Right.
obvious that he was not treated the same as the other grandchildren.
Right.
And I think maybe that's just overcompensation for that. And I don't know if you were one of the people, but once we realized who everybody was, because it took a little bit to figure out last names and who belonged to who. But if you look at the early Kathy Bowersox stuff, she doesn't even mention him missing.
Yeah, right.
She doesn't.
Right,
Yeah.
They didn't act the least bit involved or
before they started getting criticized and stuff. It was, you could go just check it out, and there was nothing on there about him.
Yeah.
And that would be the first thing, we would do. I think it's the first thing we did as soon as we saw it, is we shared it.
Right. It is.
GTO guy had a question for you, Mr. E.
Hope I can answer. So will this case just slowly fade away? Will TBI eventually rule him deceased?
Tell him what you've been saying to me today.
I don't know. What have I been saying today?
A year from now.
Oh, yeah. So one thing I thought, if we had gone live yesterday, I would have probably said was that we're kind of on a clock now.
Yes, we are.
Of him being 17. There are a lot of stories. So like I said, I don't know exactly what happened to Sebastian. And maybe he's out there on his own, willingly in some way. It's possible. If that's the case. And if you believe that theory, then when he turns 18 a year from yesterday, we'll all be kind of watching to see if, like many other runaways, he
turns up.
He walks into a police station and says, I'm no longer missing. I'm an adult. So that he won't be sent. Because if there is a scenario where somehow he was aided in getting out of that house or something like that, groom taken away, but he was somewhat willingly gone, and he's living not as someone abducted, but willingly gone from the house because maybe he did want to get away from an abusive situation. I don't believe that theory, but I can't tell you that's not a possibility. If that is the case, then when he turns 18, we'll all be kind of looking around, if this is not resolved by then, where he might walk into a police station and say, hey, I'm an adult. I'm no longer missing. I want to be taken off the Amber Alert. It has happened in other cases where there was foul play suspected. So I don't know. Is that, I think that's a possibility that
you essentially said to me, you're like, the clock's ticking now.
The clock is ticking. So
it is ticking.
Sometime after he turns 18, if something doesn't happen a few months after that, we might be able to kind of
start to rule some things out.
Rule some stuff out, as far as that being one of the possibilities. And deductive logic is one of the things I believe in. We start with all the possibilities and you go, well, let's look at Seth. Okay, Seth.
That's how we did it. We actually went through this.
We looked hardcore at Seth. Actually, I was, we talked to Tony Mathis occasionally, and
we didn't back then.
But we didn't back then.
No.
But we didn't back then. We stayed away and purposely because we didn't want to have our opinions tainted
until we had opinions,
and we really didn't want to get.
We didn't want to really get close to anybody or talk to anybody until we had more information.
Yeah. And I told Tony that the last time we talked, I was like, well, at first we were kind of standoffish because I wanted to be sure that Seth was innocent. And he's like, well, that never would have occurred to me that you even suspected Seth. So, well, we didn't suspect, but when we first looked at it, we didn't know any of these people. Your list of suspects are mom, stepdad, dad in that order. Because those are the three most likely people statistically that if something happened to Sebastian. And then once we kind of worked through every possible theory and really ruled out that Seth could be involved in any way, then that's when we went to that first vigil and met him. But we were kind of not going to talk to him until we were sure. That's just the way we approached it.
We didn't want our opinions skewed.
Yeah.
By having personal relationships.
Right. Because as we've seen, people that are charismatic and good at influencing people can work people and they don't realize they're being worked.
I think we know.
And that, but you meet people in real life. It's still hard to,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know,
and it
people
was
can
up-
put on the mask.
It was up till about an hour or two before that vigil before we even decided if we were for sure going or not.
Oh, I remember you all sitting on
That's
the
why.
fence.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he called us up to invite us personally, because it was a situation where he invited us to come.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we were going to go otherwise.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Of course, that was a big day.
But as far as the original question, do we think we're going to be, man, I really don't know. I mean, you look at so many cases and sometimes it just takes a long time.
Mhm.
I believe over the last year, things have been happening. I just don't know if it's been enough to arrest anyone. So I just don't know. And I shouldn't know. I mean, that kind of information shouldn't leak to me. One thing we said over and over is just that we're all going to be kind of sitting here going, is anything ever going to happen? Is this whole thing corrupt? Are these people incompetent? And then boom, one day there's arrest. And it could be year 3, year 5, or Sebastian could be found. And, there's just, it's not like there will be obvious signs leading up to it happening. It'll just be boom, it happens.
Yeah, we'll wake up to it.
Yeah. And then
Reba, I wanted to share awareness for Reba. Can you read that?
Sure. Reba says, my brother, Roger Dale Douglas, has been missing. Will be 20 years come February 4th.
Wow.
And there is no way his case will ever fade or being pronounced deceased until I find him or the LE in Tennessee's.
Oh, that might be one we want to write down so we can do some
I'm going to write that down.
research on Roger Dale Douglas.
I'm so
Reba?
sorry. That is a nightmare.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but on our Friday show, we always highlight a missing person. Maybe we have our missing person.
Remind me to do that.
I
Friday.
will.
And hi, Garrett. Long time no see.
Garrett is back. What?
Hi, Garrett. Yeah, that has been a little while.
Garrett.
Reba, what do you think happened to Roger? What is your main guess that you think happened?
And also, Mrs. E. NorCal SoGal said she did send you an email from her regular email address.
I see it. Those are awesome. I love it.
Man, I'm so sorry, Reba. I hate that. But let's get back to this.
Garrett wants to know when he can hear Katie speak. You weren't
Right
here
now.
earlier. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'll replay. This is probably, so the other thing I wanted to say on the when she does the past tense thing, is she from earlier? We were talking about her being coached. I think more like self-correcting, like because she's been in this now for almost 2 years. She's heard all the deception detectives and all these people that are kind of hang on every word. And they all, we know they watch all this stuff and they know the things that everybody's looking for.
Mhm.
And so she was like, when she says the past tense, she corrects to the present.
And real quick, Wowzer, wow, gifted 5 more memberships. Thank you, Wowzer. We appreciate you so much.
I wanted to play. I'm going to play this one more time before
Crimson want to know if we've covered Tabitha Tutors. I don't know if we've done it on the Friday segment. We have her at the end of the show.
No, we've never done
like in
Tabitha
our
Tutors.
We Remember You segment. But yeah, that's
No,
an interesting story.
We haven't covered her, specifically.
I don't think we've ever talked about her. I don't believe.
Is it Tabitha Tutors?
Mm-hmm. But I don't think we've ever done it on the show. So I want to play this one more time.
We all love him so much, not just me and both his dads, but the whole family. We all love him. And it's just incredibly difficult not having him home and not knowing where he is and if he's okay. But I know in my heart we're going to find him because we're not going to stop looking. None of us are. Good, bad, and ugly aside, we all love him and we all have the goal of bringing him home.
That's what it was. That good, bad, ugly. It's just like, I don't know. What is that? What is that? What is she referring to? Is she referring to the drama and all that kind of stuff there? Is that what she means? Yeah. It's like they keep going back to that.
I think kind of what she's referring to is just because of the relationship with Beth and it being tumultuous. I think that, just all of that drama.
I put up a question from GTO guy, and I'm going to go take care of these dogs.
Sure. Let's see.
I can read it to you. It says, Mr. E, in your opinion, what happens if it's true that Sebastian was really taken and admitted into a school? I would think that CP and KPB would be held accountable for knowing and wasting taxpayer money.
I think so, and I would think if that were the case, I bet Sumner would go after him for that, because I mean, it's been a lot of resources.
Well, and
on
we've
his
talked about
disappearance.
this on older shows, about if there was a institution, a group home, a tough love camp, whatever, wouldn't do they not send out all the missing kids to these types of organizations so that they can make sure they don't have a kid under false pretenses, like a kid that they say this kid's name is Betty Sue and she's really Amanda and she was taken from her home, that kind of thing.
I'm not sure that happens. I have met.
I wonder.
I know other YouTubers, influencers, and Seth and myself have met various police and sheriffs in various counties around the state who have no idea who Sebastian Rogers is.
Well, but I'm just thinking about organizations
I
and
know,
schools specifically.
But if they're not even alerting the other counties in the state that they're of the only 6 active Amber Alerts, only 3
Right.
in the last 5 years, Summer Wells, the baby whose name I can't remember, out of Memphis, and Sebastian. If they don't know those backward and forward, then their system's broken anyway. I wouldn't trust that they're also
Right.
sending all this to schools all over the country either. So I
And
don't
you're
know about
right.
that.
It's broken. It's completely broken. If not every law enforcement person doesn't have those 6 names memorized.
Yeah.
And have a picture that when you say their name, it pops in their head as to what that child looks like and what the circumstances were. I mean,
How are
it's
you
sad if that's the case.
Yeah, it's I mean, that should be just part of their morning brief or something, that they up on a board somewhere, they've got the pictures of the 6 Amber Alerts in the state. I don't know. It's just ridiculous to me. But the other part of that, about him being in a school, which I think I think something like that's a possibility. My feeling, if he's alive, the most likely to me would be that he's out of the country, but I don't know. That's just kind of what I think. I think if he turns back up, I don't think he's in the United States. That's just, and one of the reasons is because I know when they were considering putting him in a school, money was a big factor and how expensive it was.
Yes.
And so to put him, why not just put him in a school? Why go through the disappearance thing if you're going to put him in a school here in the country? And they were considering that anyway. I don't know. What's the reason? Why not just put him in the school? Why make him disappear and go on the hook for a crime and all that?
Right.
I don't know. I'd have, there might be a way to put together a good logical motive there. I just don't quite see it, because it seems like the problem with Sebastian was they wanted him out of the house. They needed him out. We think Chris wasn't allowed back home with Sebastian there because of the CPS. We don't know that, but everything kind of points to that. And then they had the thing with the Faith coming up really soon, and they were trying to get custody of Faith. So that, with the big day of fun on Sunday, it seemed like a send off, and maybe they were sending him off to leave the country and stay somewhere that was inexpensive. That's why I think out of the country might be more likely than in the United States. And then people were traveling everywhere connected to the Proud Feet. They were allowed to go back and get their campers and drive all over the country and all these things. There was a lot of movement happening.
And Abigail put this comment up. She said, Mr. E, I called a home out of the States and asked to speak with Sebastian, and the person asked me if I had the code. If said person is not there, then you would answer differently. So I guess she got a tip. Abigail, did you get some kind of tip that he might be out of the States in some place? How did you get that information?
Well, it could be an answering service, and they don't know every person by name anyhow. You know, let's
Could
say you've
be.
got a home with 200 kids and you just got an answering person and they say, "What's your code?" And then they plug it in. So they may not have known the name. That might be a reason for that. But money was a factor on it, you know. So that's why I have a hard time thinking that they found him a place in the States that they could keep it quiet
Right.
and of course at this point they'd be paying for that at almost 2 years, and money was a factor for them.
Right.
So and that's going to be hard to hide that amount of money going out every month at this point if he's
Right.
still
Right.
in a, you know.
Well, and that should be something I would think that law enforcement would keep
And I
a
think
tab
this
on.
I think it was on Web Sleuths. I might be wrong. When Chris and Seth were both on a panel at the same time, was it on Web Sleuths where they're saying something like, Seth says something like, "Well, he was okay with going to summer school with me," or something, and Chris says, "Well, I wish you had told me that before."
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it was
I'm
a
paraphrasing.
weird slip. It was a weird slip.
It's like, why would that have made a difference if you had told us that before, that you were going to take him that summer and Sebastian was
Before
okay
what?
with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before what? Yeah.
Yeah. I think about that one a lot. I think that's on Web Sleuths, but I might have to go back and listen.
And Nina sent another super sticker. It's this.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Nina.
Yeah. Okay. Lover Girl is saying she thinks it's on Web Sleuths. I think it was, because there aren't a lot of panels those two have been on at the same time. I
No,
don't
not
think.
the same
Believe it or
time.
not, as much as we've gone over this, I'm not on camera. As much as we've gone over this, I've forgotten a lot.
I know. It's almost like you have to refresh yourself on things to keep it in your memory.
So let me let's keep going on this. So see what's the next one here. Okay, I think I did. Okay, we'll go up. All right, so here's more. Katie, this is about an hour in.
We don't see a 2-year mark. I hope we bring him home.
I agree.
But that being said, even when we do bring him home, we were talking and thinking about what would Sebastian want. And we think that supporting other persons that are missing as well is a phenomenal idea, because we're not the only family in this situation, unfortunately. And as much as I wish that no one would ever go through this, it's real. And so we were thinking about potentially trying maybe to set up a scholarship in honor of Sebastian, in his name, to help other families of missing as well, because there are other families who have perhaps a missing child that has siblings, and we now know how difficult that struggle can be, and we think that Sebastian would be happy to help them. And so one of the things that we had thought, like I said, was potentially setting up a scholarship to help support another family or another child in honor of Sebastian.
Have you heard this yet, Mrs. E? Did you know this?
No.
So the idea is they're thinking of doing a scholarship in honor of Sebastian to help, I think it's for families that have had other missing children and their siblings and that kind of thing. So I of course have mixed feelings on that. Of course, scholarships is wonderful and that's generous. Depending on your point of view, it's PR if you think that they're involved. If you don't, then maybe you just think it's a generous thing to do. So you kind of have whatever view you wanted to have on it. What do you think of that, Auntie?
Well, I think I don't really get the point of the scholarship. Is it for a sibling of a child that is missing?
I
It's
think
not.
so, yeah.
It's not really specific. And how many are there like that you could target for a scholarship? I mean, I don't know. I just think it seems a little odd. A scholarship is for college, right? It's for higher education, not for. So I don't know. I just think it's a very bizarre thing. I think it's great that they want to do something to help others, help with autism awareness, to like the money that went to the pets after the vigil, that we're going to the animal shelter or animal friends type thing. That would be more in honor of Sebastian, because those are things he liked. And even if he wanted to help someone, I just think that's an odd targeted audience to give a scholarship to a sibling of a child that's been missing. I don't know. I just think that would be very difficult target audience. I don't get it.
It feels like a PR move to me, but of course I've got my opinion on what I think. So to me, it just seems like trying to buy some good publicity and they haven't done the scholarship. They're just saying they're considering it. So they're
Yeah.
just kind of floating the idea out there right now. But that the point that Harper Jean just makes, isn't that normally done once you know they are gone? And that really is the kind of thing you usually do in someone's
It's like a
memory.
memorial
I know.
scholarship is usually formed after someone's passed away, and you give out a scholarship at their high school in their name. That's how you usually do memorial scholarships, or but I'm not saying it's not a great idea to raise money for something in someone's name. It's just weird.
So Liberty says that is not what innocent parents do when their child is missing. Sorry.
No,
I don't see that either. I can't think of ever hearing anything like that.
No, when your child's missing, you use every resource you have
to
find your child.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what she did last year too. She was talking about, remember she said, well, don't forget about all the other children that are missing. It's like, think about other kids other than mine.
It's just
when your kid's missing, all you care about is your child being found. I mean,
Right. Detective mom says.
Years down the road, maybe you take up a cause, but not in the first year or
There
two.
you go. That's as clear as you can be.
Detective mom says there's no freaking way I'm thinking about anyone else's kid or a scholarship if I can't find my baby. Right. Buy more blip boards. Get yourself more PIs.
Put more signs in this county.
Yeah. I mean, they're not out
Ask
there.
the Cold Case Foundation to step in.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
more
stuff.
resources. Yeah.
Well,
I
I don't know if they'll ever do that, because Chris McDonough clearly states whenever he talks about it that the story starts and ends in that house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be what he believes, but he's not a dishonest man. So even if he went in with the preconceived idea,
he would still
he would just go where the facts took him.
Look for the facts.
But I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to find people that don't think that they're involved. Like I've said, anybody that understands this case thinks they're involved, except for the echo chamber.
Right. The
tiny fringe people that don't realize that they're in the tiny fringe. But all you got to do is go to the big public platforms that haven't been infiltrated. Just the general Joe Schmo public. Everybody thinks you're looking in the house.
Right.
And hi, Spirit Seeker Squad. It's nice to see you.
And Abigail said she did. She said, I didn't get a tip. I did my own research. I called more than this home, and most would say they didn't have said child. Also, this home argued with me about him being missing. So she's been on the. She said she called out of the States at this home and asked for him, and was asked for a code to speak with him.
I'm sure she sent this in.
Did you send that to Seth? I would send the name of that to Seth just so that he has it. Because if I know they've gone through various schools and things like that. Mm-hmm. So just to make sure that's not one they overlooked. If you haven't already said that. And if you don't know how to do that, we'll get it to him.
Yeah, if you want to send it to us, I can put our email in chat.
Because his PI is still going. And that is something they will do. But yeah, I would be using any extra money I had to make sure that people, because I had mentioned this on our Friday show, I think it was, but we do a true crime walking tour in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And so I've been meeting all these true crime fans from all over the country, people that are like crime junkie fans or Dateline or the Netflix documentaries, or they're really, those kind of people. And I mean, these are people that are very much interested in true crime.
Not live streaming true crime necessarily, but more podcasting.
Right. And so inevitably at some point during these 2-hour tours I do, we'll just start talking about all kinds of cases and different situations. And I mean, these are people that are very much interested in true crime. And so inevitably at some point during these 2-hour tours I do, we'll just start talking about all kinds of cases and different situations. And And I always end up bringing up Sebastian Rogers at some point. And I'll tell you, outside of people that live in Middle Tennessee, I have yet to have had someone that knew the Sebastian Rogers case,
Right.
unless they were somebody that knew me from this, which has just been like a couple of people. But for the most part, people around the country have no idea who Sebastian is, and that surprised me because I thought that this was a bigger, well-known missing person story, like almost like that Madeline McCann level, like well-known disappearance or something,
Because we've been in this corner of
Yeah,
YouTube.
because we're in our
for
own
so-
echo chamber in a way. But it's just not the truth. The truth is that outside of this region that we live in, very few people actually know anything about Sebastian. So that being the case, there's work to be done. So that extra money you've got for scholarships needs to be spent getting the word out around the country where he could be. GTO guy says, just like what Nicole Simpson's family did with OJ Simpson, would it be a smart move for Seth to sue CP and KB for civil damages? They would have to testify under oath, etc. I would at a point. Yeah. I've always said that there would come a point where I'd have probably a deadline in my mind. And I don't know if Seth has this or not. No idea. But I'd have a point where I'd say, I'm going to let justice run its course until year whatever. Year 3, year 4, whatever he's got in his mind. And then it'd be, I'm suing the pants off everybody. I'm suing the county. I'm suing the Proudfoot. I'm suing anybody that to get answers.
And I don't know about the legal, ramifications, but it would seem to me that he would have to be found for that to happen. Because Nicole Simpson's a whole different story.
Not necessarily. He could sue them for civil damages, saying that they were involved with his disappearance. They were involved with the disappearance. That's all he would have to sue them for.
And whatever happened with CPS too. We don't know what those allegations are.
All of that could be brought into court.
But there's he could sue CPS probably. You may not win.
He could sue Sumner. He could even sue Sumner County. He could sue anybody that was negligent in this.
But wouldn't you have to prove the next? I gotcha.
You just have to get discovery.
Gotcha.
And maybe you win, maybe you don't. But you just want to. There would be a point where I'd be like, okay, detectives, you've had 3 years, you've had 5 years. I don't even know if you're working because there's no way to know. There's no way to know if you've got a good detective, an incompetent detective. Maybe they're a great detective and they're just stuck. They're not going to tell you.
No,
they're just not going to tell you. You don't know if that file's been gathering dust for 6 months or if they're making an arrest tomorrow. There's no way for him to know.
Right.
So that's why I would think in my mind, if I were trying to be I would try to be patient to a point, but there would come a point where I'd hire every lawyer I could and I'd get some answers. That's just how I would look at it. Garrett says, exactly, Mr. E. If they got money like that, use it to your benefit and try hard to find the child.
Right.
Proudfoot could sue the state, sue the county, try to get some answers themselves if they're innocent, right?
Right.
No,
you're right.
There's lots of things you could do with the money. Buy yourself some publicity, get yourself on some TV shows. They'll talk about this a little later too. So I'll keep going here, but it's hard to look at. It's hard to hear any of this without it just sounding all disingenuous and scripted. And it's been 2 years after. She's better at this now. She knows what to expect. She's in a very safe environment with Duchess, who she's comfortable with. And Duchess plays it very, she's not asking hard questions. And on this day, you shouldn't. This was a fundraiser and it was Sebastian's birthday. So you're not expecting her to be like, let's go through the timeline.
We need
again.
the timeline.
Yeah. And that's not the place for that.
Right.
So you're only going to get so much information from this kind of event. But even then, there was a little. So let me see. Oh, yeah. So this is her talking about the media.
Unfortunately, not really any new information that we know of. What I do know is that law enforcement is still actively looking into Sebastian's case. They're still taking those tips and looking into anything that may be credible. Obviously, they don't tell us every detail of what they're doing. but
Right.
we do know that they are still looking, and that if anything credible or even remotely credible comes up, that they're definitely looking into it and either proving or disproving it. Um, I know that there's a lot of crazy nonsense and whatnot that has taken place or taking place, and that has put a hindrance on things. Like news channels don't necessarily want to run many stories because it always causes an influx of nonsense.
So I think
Nonsense?
that's interesting that she says that the media doesn't want to run any stories. When we
I
were
don't
in the
I
Yeah, I'm
don't think
sorry.
that's true at all. That's not true at all.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they talk. I mean, part of it is just time. You know,
Mhm.
as time goes on, they're going to cover this less and less. But I remember being in the courthouse and watching Quisenberry from, what is she with, Channel 5?
No,
Or she's Channel 2.
I thought she's. Uh,
Caitlin Quisenberry. I can't remember what state network.
maybe it is Channel 5.
But she was there.
Or-
She was there in the
no, it might be
courthouse
Channel 2. I don't remember.
with the camera guy standing right there, and they said no.
Yes, I was.
So
with you.
they said no. They shook her off and said, no, we're not doing it. They talked to her, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't go on camera and advocate for Sebastian. Refused.
Right.
Never
did.
forget it. Seth went on.
Yeah.
Seth said, yeah, sure, of course. Seth won't turn down that opportunity.
I
So to hear her
agree.
complain about it now is disingenuous. We sat there and watched her turn. She wasn't going to get hardball questions from Caitlin Quisenberry either.
No.
She was just going to get the friendly, tell us what you think. How did they, they would have been able to talk about anything they wanted and refused. They had the opportunity. They've turned down multiple opportunities.
Dreaming had a good point. She said, throughout the whole interview, I still never heard any real emotion or tears. I will forever hold grieving moms to the standard of Riley Strain's mom. And
Right.
absolutely. And I think that's what was such a stark difference, because when this was going on, that was also going on. And you could see this mom who was frantic and begging for help. And then you saw the opposite. And it was a stark difference.
And okay, and then even going on these YouTube channels, like I've said, even with Seth, if Seth wanted to come on here, we'd let him come on, of course, but it wouldn't do him any good. You're preaching to the choir. We all know the Sebastian Rogers case.
Right.
You're not reaching anybody here. 1% of our audience probably doesn't know Sebastian Rogers at this point. You need to go other places outside of us. So going on Duchess, and that's all nice and everything, these different places, but you're not doing anything to spread awareness at this point. You need to go outside of the echo chamber and the bubble if you actually want people to learn about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Real Me Too is there too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they did
said-
refuse.
Yeah. We were all
Yeah,
together.
we were like 30 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that unique. The trauma response is not unique. People really aren't that different.
No.
There's people just really aren't that different. There are not these. It's again putting a lot of weight on the fringe idea that somehow the Proudfoot are this just bizarre anomaly that exists, and people aren't really that different. I've known a lot of people like both of them. You can read them if you recognize the patterns and all that.
And it gets easier.
Yeah. I mean, you go listen to the mom, the Becca Parks mom.
Her adopted mother.
Yeah. And that first interview with,
we're going to go over that.
Well, even Megan Boswell.
Yeah.
We heard some things out of her mouth. Very similar.
It's the same.
I mean, and she was a young kid.
She sounded just like Proudfoot many times.
Uh-huh.
Some of the same wording.
I mean, it was shocking.
Letitia, I never can say her last name.
Letitia Stouch.
It's the whole point of studying psychology and statement analysis and behavioral. Think people aren't really that different. We all, we're not really not that different. That's why they're able to see these patterns in people and give advice and treatments and all that kind of stuff and predict things and be correct.
I mean, Just look at a deception detective.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Deception detective is a good example. He puts his theories. I mean, you can put it. He puts his theories out there, and he can prove his theory time after time after time.
I haven't seen him since we've been doing this. I haven't seen him be wrong once on anybody that he's been, that he said they were being deceptive. Know what they're being deceptive about. It's like what I'm saying on the prophet. I don't know what happened. I just know they know what happened.
Well, we have our
that they're
theories,
hiding stuff, that they're deceiving the public. I don't know exactly what happened to Sebastian, of course. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead to.
Oh, Harper Jean says she reminds me a lot of Susan Smith. I've tried to find old Susan Smith interviews and watch them. I've only found I found very few, but what I did see, I can see what you're saying for sure.
Oh, it was. I saw something not too long ago. It was a revisited thing. I think it was on YouTube about her, and it was some of her old news reports when she was first found. And they were actually interviewing the dad now, that was her husband at the time. That was the father of the children, and they were playing those things. And he just talked about, he's remarried, he has new children, but he was just talking about how absolutely horrific it all was, and it was just awful.
Hey, YouTuber, nice to see you.
Yeah, there's this too. I was thinking about this today. Chris did yell at a news reporter to not film his property
at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Well, his behavior.
And don't forget, we didn't want our name out there.
And yelled at Bobby for driving down the street, right?
In her own neighborhood.
And then Mr. Bowersox chasing JLR around in the car.
And Betty.
And Mr. Bowersox chasing Betty in the car. I mean, these are weird behaviors. That's not normal. That's not people experiencing weird trauma in a different way.
I think about myself.
Suspicious behavior.
I think about myself. If my child was missing and these people were out doing YouTube lives and looking for my child, the first thing I would do would befriend them and say, thank you for being out there and being an advocate for my child. What can I do to help? I don't care how crazy they might act. If they're out there bringing awareness of a missing child, I would be all about it, as long as they weren't putting me down. And they weren't at the beginning. They weren't. They were just talking about him being missing.
People were very open at first.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because we, at the very beginning they were, and it got crazy
really quick.
It got crazy once their personnel. It got crazy actually on that first Duchess interview. A little bit, because when we first heard,
I remember looking forward to hearing it.
Yes.
And I remember my feelings. I don't remember what I said to you.
I remember looking at each other and going,
whoa,
what is this?
No.
Like we couldn't see them, because
But I remember. Do you remember how disappointed I was?
Because they're laughing.
I was
the laughing and all that.
Very awkward and inappropriate for the situation.
Yeah, it was like, this is not right. And it's not because they're experiencing trauma in a different way. It's because there was something wrong.
Yeah, I was disappointed because it was like a gut punch. It was like, oh wow, my red flags went off like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it was unreal.
Auntie Abigail had a question for you.
She said, did you ever hear that CP made a trip to Alaska just days after Sebastian disappeared? He did not go to Alaska. His mother and stepfather went to Alaska on a trip, I believe, and it was somewhat for business as well. I don't think it was just vacation. I think it was some business transportation as well.
Yeah.
And somebody said, Mr. E, you are so well spoken. I wonder if you might reach out to the VIDOCQ Society.
I don't know what that is.
Me either.
The VIDOCQ.
That Unicorn of Hope. I like.
Well, thank you, Unicorn. I appreciate it. I'll have to look. I don't know.
Oh, and Fine Summer's
I don't know what that is.
In here.
I just thought that
Brenda says Smiley's interview convinced me, right?
Smiley's
interview was good too.
Smiley was a very good interview. Especially catching her off guard because she wasn't expecting to do that interview. But she did it right. Like, she did a nice balance of asking tough questions and keeping it friendly. Steph's Case Files. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Go back and watch Steph's Case Files with Becca's mother, and you'll see the similarities there. But Steph does the same thing. She's got that ability to not be ask hardball questions where you put the person in such a defensive posture, but but fair questions, and without being just a complete suck up either.
I don't know what the
But Smiley did a good job with that.
VIDOCQ society is.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yes. So the next section I'm going to play here. This is
YouTuber. I'm brash but respectful.
this is what Katie is asking for. This is actually a longer segment.
Hi,
I've
Bliss.
got about 3 minutes. I was going to play this.
Thanks.
But just trying to generally state it is that I accept and appreciate that people are looking at every possible aspect. I would ask for nothing less. But what we ask for is that the BS and the lies and the drama and all of the hatefulness that's going on.
What is, I always kind of bristle when people just kind of do these blanket things, the BS, the lies, the drama. What are you talking about? What BS, lies, and drama? What is she even referring to? I mean, what do you think what is she thinking that is?
I mean, based on the channels that she associates herself
Yeah.
with, if she's listening to them.
Well,
So what
they
is
are
it?
all BS, lies, and drama.
Well, no, but she's asking for that to stop. I don't even know what she is talking about. What is she asking to stop? Does she just mean people that suspect her being involved? Is that what she means by it? Because like I just don't really see that much
And some of our comments are hilarious.
drama. I just don't know what she means.
What?
I think she means people suspecting her. I think she just
Well-
means I want people to not look my direction.
Well, that's exactly what it is. What it is says to anyone that don't think she's innocent.
Right.
You'd be crazy not to be looking at them first, actually.
Well, Gina
to
said,
not at least consider it. It's got to be at least in your, because she's the last one to see him. She doesn't advocate for him except annually, only on the anniversary dates where if she didn't, it would just look crazy suspicious, and
Well,
she probably
that's-
dreads it
I think
because she knows we're going to all do this, right?
I pointed it out today. I said, well, she got so much flack last year for not doing this. So
Yep.
that's probably why.
She didn't do this last. What did she do last year? They did nothing. They did what did they do? I don't remember what they did last year.
I can look it up, but I don't feel like they did anything.
Maybe not. And they're always reactionary. Like when they get criticized on stuff, they usually correct it the next time. Like when they initially the FBI reward came out at that 6-month anniversary, and they first told the newspapers no comment.
Right.
And then everybody was like, "What do you mean no comment? You should be thank God the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward to find my son." Because it was huge news at the time, and they're like, "No comment." Okay. And
Okay,
then everybody criticized them, and then a couple of days later, they had a prepared statement come out saying,
Yeah,
"Oh,
Real
well,
Me
we're
Too.
very thankful to the FBI."
Real Me Too says they didn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I thought
Oh,
maybe they
okay.
did.
Well, UA Crimson said it was these things: the rumor of them being swingers, her cheating with her neighbor, the power washing story.
Oh, okay, good. That's nothing we've ever covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
do those.
Yeah,
And those are like right at the beginning anyway.
yeah.
those-
There really wasn't
those
much
rumors-
talk after a while.
I don't think people discuss those anymore. Those
Do you
were in
wanna
the first
know-
3 or 4 months.
What the Vidic Society is?
Yes.
It is a real organization named after Eugene Vidic. It is based in Philadelphia. It's made up of forensic experts, detectives, psychologists, and criminologists who specialize in reviewing cold case homicides. Police agencies can present unsolved cases to the society for expert analysis. It is somewhat secretive and very selective.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is. It is.
I don't think
so
I qualify
cool.
for that, but that's an interesting organization.
I think she's saying that you could be the one to approach them because you're well spoken.
I see. Oh, to present the case that I would like them to analyze,
Yes.
like that.
I
Okay.
think.
All right.
And so I'm finding some of the famous cases that they've done, and they have done a bunch of people I've never heard of. I mean, Boy in the Box case. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Okay, the John List murders.
He knows a lot about true crime, a lot more than you and I do, for sure.
I know a little bit about a
Scott
lot.
Dunn, Scott Dunn disappearance, Huey Cox, Deborah Wilson, and Terry Brooks. That were some of their most notable involvements.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, that's something to look into.
Crochet changed her name to I Am Quilting, so I guess it's because it's the time of year. She said you could read the Bible. I don't know if she's talking to you or not, but I thought that was a fun comment.
I could read the Bible.
You could read the Bible. Anybody could. It's really great for you.
I've got a little more
I
of
had
this
to buy a what was it? What do I call? What's the thing I had to buy because I get the Bible is there's some murky passages to me.
Oh yeah.
I bought a companion.
Yeah.
To help with
the Bible for dummies.
No, I didn't buy the Bible for dummies. I bought it's like I don't know, it's like a companion, a study companion.
Yeah, it kind of breaks it down.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, not that anybody can
not be at the forefront, because that doesn't help. It doesn't help find Sebastian. It doesn't help bring him home, and it certainly doesn't help to lead law enforcement into chasing their tails.
Okay, this is like the night of pet peeves for me. This has been like the true crime pet peeve night for me. That's what we should have named this. So here's another one. These and law enforcement does this too. The public is not helping with all their speculation and talking online. The YouTubers, the TikTokers, all this, whatever. You should just trust law enforcement. Just listen to law enforcement. If law enforcement doesn't say it, it doesn't exist, right? Except we've had the Becca Parks case. TikTokers are the ones that actually found her in the woods. It's TikTokers that found Riley Strain's bank card on the banks when hundreds of police and canines had swept all up there, and they find it 8 days later. It's really social media that solved the Gabby Petito case.
Oh, absolutely,
it was web sleuths and internet people that did the documentary "Don't F with Cats" that solved that crime.
not actually web sleuths the channel.
Not web sleuths the channel, but web sleuths that ended up solving that. So it happens all the time, and there's no guarantee that your law enforcement's competent or not corrupt. Because as we've been just 2 weeks ago, we had the reporters from the Tennessean on here talking about the Skull Shulman murder. And that cop was dirty and he got fired for being dirty. And there's a guy serving life in prison for the murder of Skull Shulman. If you're from Nashville, you know who I'm talking about. A crazy popular business owner in Nashville. And this guy's serving life with no parole. And because of this podcast with the guys from the Tennessean, the guy that testified against him, who was really the evidence that put him away, has taken back his testimony. Said he was innocent. He was pressured into it by this dirty cop who beat him with a phone book in the elevator and told him he was going to go to prison for this if he didn't change the story. And, so is that a situation where I'm supposed to trust law enforcement? You can't make these blanket rules. You can't just say, yeah, I always trust law enforcement. It's like saying I trust my government. I always trust my doctor. I always trust lawyers. I always trust the news.
I think
anybody in positions of any power can be corrupted, incompetent, self-serving, or dirty. It just can happen. So you can't just make these blanket. If law enforcement doesn't say it, then it didn't happen. I don't know. Not all cops are equal. Some are brilliant. Some are not. Some are in between. And you don't know what you got. So the public has to be out here putting the pressure on. If the case is going cold and the police are stuck, there's nothing they would love more than people like us to go away.
Right.
They would just love for us to just stop. The criminals would love for us to stop. The cops that are stuck and that need re-elections coming up, would love for us to all stop. So we are a pain in the butt. I get it, but we're not stopping their investigation. We're not hindering anything. Can you think of a situation where a YouTuber or TikToker has prevented justice against a guilty person by talking about a case online? I can't. Many of you know probably.
They would probably.
Is there a situation where that has happened? Because I can't think of it, but they say it all the time. They act like we're just preventing justice left and right just by talking about cases
or our theories. Or
just discussing theories. As long as you don't, go vigilante justice or something. It's just stuff people say that's like meaningless jibber jabber, but doesn't have any actual reality to it. So I'll get off that little soapbox
but
too. Like
no,
I
I
said,
get
this is my
yeah.
pet peeve night on things that I hear that just these nonsensical things that people just say, but they don't actually have any
UA says
reality or meaning.
Kylie Rodney, Blue Bella.
Kylie
We weren't
Rodney.
I
around
don't.
for Kylie
I mean, I know
Rodney.
Kylie Rodney, but I don't know who Blue Bella is. So I don't know what that would be.
And Real Me Too says nope. And see, the thing is by listening to other people on YouTube, it helps us think about other possibilities and other theories and other
Other
perspectives,
theories.
or things
Mhm.
that maybe, for example, I'm just saying Bullhorn Betty because that's who popped in my head. But for example, Bullhorn Betty thought about, maybe she says something that sparks something in me.
Oh yeah.
Or she caught something in an interview that I didn't catch.
Yeah.
So you would think the more resources, the better, right?
Yes. Actually, I was watching, I've been watching Zodiac, that movie
That's what I was
today.
going to say.
And
actually, I think you're right. We haven't seen it.
no, we had not seen it.
No.
I
thought I had, but
yeah. I've listened to podcasts on it, so I know the story real well, but we hadn't seen that movie before. And it's based on the true story. So I'm guessing that it's at least pretty close to reality.
Sorry,
But
the
in that,
dog's trying to get
the
down
police and the media kind of work together,
Right.
They're working together.
Right. And this guy that's the part we're on is a cartoonist.
Yes.
He's not an investigative journalist.
Yes.
And he's putting some things together that even the investigators haven't put together.
And if you're, instead of just complaining about the world that you live in, just use it. Like McDonough has said before, Chris McDonough from the Interview Room will say, use the public. 90% of your cases get solved because of the public anyway. Use it. And the example that he would use was, and I cannot remember the guy's name, but he was from another country. He had killed, I think, 3 people, kind of scattered all over the country. And there was a particular cap that they had, and they were holding it back as evidence. And if they had released it sooner, they would have been able to identify when they released the hat he was wearing or something. That's how they ended up solving the case. Well, they had held it back for a long time. It's like if you had put it out there sooner, you might have been able to get this case solved faster, and the public solved the case for them. Right. So use people like us in the media, put pressure on people. There are ways that things can be done if you're creative, instead of just sitting around complaining, because the complaining does nothing. They sat there and complained up in Michigan, Boone, Michigan. The police were literally complaining about social media hampering the case, and then it was TikTokers that found the body. They weren't complaining then, I don't guess.
But I
know with that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say with that Kylie Rodney, it was a group of YouTubers that were volunteering, and they did it like a dive in the water that they thought her car was submerged in or something. I remember it was a volunteer group of YouTubers that found her.
Right. So how did that hurt the case?
I don't know, but that's one of the cases I know that
Garrett's got a suggestion for you.
Okay. ASHA degree case is a very Aisha degree case is a very popular missing kid case. It dates back 20 years in my hometown, and they got leads a few months ago, but never heard anymore. Y'all should cover it. Interesting.
Ooh, that's another Aisha degree.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard that name.
I don't know that one. I will look at it. Thank you.
Yeah, little Miss Sharon said YouTubers work free for LE, and
that's a good point, Sharon. I never thought of that.
She put snacks in a blanket on the porch. If he had the code to the door, he would just walk in.
That's a great point.
I never thought about that.
There you go, Sharon Marlowe, making me think.
I never thought about that.
That is a terrific point. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're exactly right here. That's another one. Thoughtful Criminal said, look at
criminal.
I'm sorry. I thought it was thoughtful. Sorry. Hang on. It got thrown. Look how much of a spotlight was put on Emmanuel Haro's case via social media. I mean, that one guy on the Tira, or what was, I think that was his name. He was just covering it like crazy around the clock.
And y'all, that's another one where we were immediately like,
oh, we knew
something's not right here.
Yes. They were the worst liars I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they weren't.
Hola.
Yeah. They were the worst. Yeah, I'll tell you another way social media can help too. These interviews we do actually, uh, they'll be evidence. It's all evidence. You want these people talking as much as possible. It's a gift. It is a gift to law enforcement for these people to talk as much as possible. I mean, the last thing you want is for them to shut up.
Well, it's
And-
my
and-
hope that they monitor this stuff, but
They don't.
we don't know that they do
I don't know.
unless somebody's sending it into them directly. And you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't know.
But if, when it comes around time, all these interviews and these things are out there, and it will.
Well, we know that certain people were
Mhm.
reached out to.
Yeah. Yeah, she hasn't asked for cold case.
Or marshals.
Or marshals.
I would
I
say
think
if
the marshals didn't the marshals come in at the beginning, or was those other ones? That was the Cajun Navy that came in, and
no, the
they got-
marshals haven't come in.
Mm-mm.
right,
The marshals
have not.
all Sumner County has to do is I believe Nick sent them everything they needed, and they
Just had to sign it.
They just had to sign it. He had it filled out for him and everything.
Yep.
And they refused. So
All right, I'm going to play a little. There's a couple of minutes of this of her talking about the media. I rewound it a little bit just so we catch it all.
And all of the hatefulness that's going on not be at the forefront, because that doesn't help. It doesn't help find Sebastian. It doesn't help bring him home. And it certainly doesn't help to lead law enforcement into chasing their tails. But I would say also that I don't have words to explain how much appreciation I have that people are actually caring, and they are looking, and they are, for lack of a better, I'm struggling with my words, I'm sorry, but that people are reporting anything that they think is suspicious, or anytime that they think they might have seen Sebastian. What I would ask is that these families, because I know there's been more than one that have just gone through hell because of it. And I would ask that if you do think you see Sebastian, definitely take a picture and definitely call in law enforcement. But it doesn't need to go on the internet, because that's causing innocent people problems and harassment. And those are children, those are families, and they don't deserve that either. But I do encourage people that if you think it's him, definitely take that picture and definitely report it, but report it to the authorities. Protect those other people too.
Exactly.
And because I know if the role were reversed, that's what I would want. I wouldn't want my family or my children being exposed to this craziness that is happening. So, and the other thing that I would ask is that the only thing I know to do at this point is just to keep sharing his face and sharing his story and telling people, hey, Sebastian, he's missing. This is what he looks like. It's so important to share his face with his name, so that people know what he looks like if they happen to see him.
I agree with that.
If you're willing to share his flyer, just share the legitimate flyers with, and just help keep his name and face out there, and just keep your head on a swivel. I mean, before Sebastian went missing, I was one of the people. I would see these Amber Alerts, and I would look, and I would go, okay. And it's not that I was necessarily ignoring it, but I wasn't paying that much attention to it. And I know how important it is just to be somewhat aware of your surroundings, because you never know. And so I just want to say, please do that. And thank you so much for those of you that are. I know that to this day, I keep his flyers, and I have little bracelets with his name on it. And wherever I go, I tend to leave a flyer and a bracelet. And I just try to tell people, this is my son, he's missing, just please keep a lookout. And if you're willing, share this flyer. And anyone else that's willing to do the same, I deeply appreciate it.
I mean, that's all fine, except her actions have not been that way.
Yeah, especially when
that's all
nowhere in
fine.
town has the flyers.
I mean, you don't just drive around. You don't see the flyers. You don't see the signs. They're nowhere. They're nowhere.
And I remember people putting them up in the neighborhood on utility poles, things like that, and they were ripping them down.
Well,
There's several stories like
there's
that.
several stories like that. We don't know who ripped them down. There is also an ordinance that we're not supposed to have that stuff on our
Like on utility poles.
But you go, I know that people say that. Go to Vanderbilt University.
No, but in Sumner County.
But it's statewide. You're not supposed to have them on the utility poles
well,
there either.
then it's all over downtown.
It's not. Nobody gets fined for this. People do it all the time. They eventually get torn down.
If that's what the police are spending their time doing, then they're spending their time doing the wrong thing.
I know.
I would like to thank NorCal, SoGal. Love you all, Mr. E, Mrs. E, Aunt E.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. And sweet Melissa, she gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much, sweet Melissa. If you received a gifted membership from sweet Melissa, please tell her thank you. And she is very, very sweet.
Yes,
and we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
And Abigail, I wrote down that name. She said, have we read about the Missouri Miracle? It was in her hometown. Sean was missing 4 years and returned home alive. He disappeared in 2002 and was found in 2007.
Wow.
So I'll have to look into that one. That sounds like a very interesting case.
I mean, I know we of course we're all hoping that there's a situation like that. I mean, I think we're all rooting for Sebastian. Yeah. Sitting, you know what doesn't is it L-Jax into you says, you know what doesn't help sitting on your behind doing nothing.
Oh.
It doesn't.
Hey, look who entered the chat.
Hey, Seth. Good to see you.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I know yesterday was tough, but we're happy to see you.
We did go by Culver's in Hendersonville.
We did the Hendersonville one, and their little setup there was nice.
It was wonderful, and that's another thing is that that's an easy thing that maybe the family that lives in Hendersonville could have set up.
Sure.
Instead of Voices of Truth.
Yeah,
there could have been other places.
Strangers
like
are doing more.
Mm-hmm.
That they are.
Yeah.
People that have never met Sebastian are doing more.
NorCal SoGal says she's a sign in her yard.
Oh, guilty of crime. Nice to see you.
Oh, good to see you guilty of crime.
All the friends are here tonight.
Seth said his PI went and set that up.
Oh, okay. The one at Culver's. Yeah, it looked good. It was good. We'll send you a picture of it later if you didn't. I'm sure you've seen it though.
I put it up on our community tab.
Another thing, I'm not, like I said, we're not going to play the whole Duchess thing.
Oh, Wowzer gifted 20 memberships. Wowzer. Wowzer. You're just making us wow tonight.
Thank you, Wowzer. It's very sweet of you.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. If you received a gifted membership from Wowzer Wow, please tell Wowzer Wow. Thank you. And we appreciate you so much.
That Culver's was busy too, so a lot of people saw the.
It was busy.
Yeah, it was rocking.
So it was.
So
it was just really nice.
And I would guess they'll probably just leave it out until the flyers are gone. Is that probably what they'll do?
I would think so.
I bet
there
that's
were
what they
several
do.
gone.
Yeah. But so like I said, we're not going to play all of the Duchess stuff, but I do recommend going back to see, especially if you just want to kind of see a lot of those childhood pictures of Sebastian that many of you haven't seen before. Kitty does give a lot of backstory, just different anecdotes of Sebastian and that kind of thing, which is great because
learning about
the more the public and people know about Sebastian, the more attached we are to him, the more you care about his story, and the more that helps people want to spread it, right? Because you want people emotionally invested. So that part of it's good. You'll also hear throughout, though, that there's a lot of points where Katie's just laughing and having a great time, and it's just a little off-putting. It's kind of like many of her interviews where it's just like
inappropriate to be laughing.
It's just it's just weird. Maybe 2 years out, maybe it's not as weird, but she was doing that at the beginning too, but if you go watch the whole thing, that'll be striking to you probably. And then
Seth says he has pictures of and video of the Hendersonville location. He was at the Clarksville location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I knew that. Joan says, I put several flyers in Portland. When I would notice the flyer was missing, I would ask to put another up. The store managers would say someone came by and said that he'd been found. Weird.
What? Okay, I gotta go read that again.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Joan says, I put out several flyers in Portland. When I would notice the flyer missing, I would ask to put another one up. The store managers would say someone came by and said he had been found. I have heard that before somewhere, actually.
Yeah, maybe it
Um,
was from her.
I was going to say I've heard it from another place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where did we hear that?
I
We,
don't remember.
we did hear that somewhere else, though, that happening.
That's
And Portland's in
interesting.
Sumner County, if you're not familiar. It's one of the 4 kind of main towns in the county.
We
Huh.
haven't seen any billboards up in a very long time.
It's been at least over half a year. I personally have seen them 3 times, and one of them was one of the at night ones.
Right. When At Night put
When
them
they were
up,
doing the blips.
Yeah.
you happened to be driving downtown, I believe, the day they put them
It was
up.
in the Rivergate area where I
Yeah.
saw it. But it was at a distance. I couldn't even read the message. I could barely see it.
Yeah,
No,
you were
Texas
driving
Plain-
and couldn't take a picture. So
Yeah.
Texas Plain Jane. Portland is in Tennessee. It's adjacent to that area. It's part of Sumner County, Tennessee. She asked if it was in
I forgot to
Oregon.
put the kids to bed. You guys go ahead. I'll be back.
I was just going to play her last birthday kind of part here. I think.
Oh, and just so everybody knows, he is cutting out everyone talking except for Katie on purpose. So, because Katie's what's important.
Yeah, yeah, and I do, if you know us at all, we try to avoid any kind of creator kind of commentary unless it's positive. And I know people have feelings about different people, and so we try to keep it actually drama free as much as possible and focus on the people at the heart of the missing person story.
Well, first of all, happy birthday, my Bubba. But I can't say thank you enough to you, Nonsense, to everyone that is helping and supportive of finding Sebastian and bringing Sebastian home. Anyone that's listening or anything that is willing to help and to spread that awareness. I know I feel like a broken record, but thank you for sharing, thank you for spreading his.
That struck me there, the broken record comment, because
Mhm.
that would be about the last thing I would think, is that this lady has just gone on and on about
Because she's
anything
hardly
involving
talked at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the stepdad has talked 5 times as much as she has about Sebastian.
Name and his face, and that he's missing out there. And thank you for just one day of putting aside all of this craziness and just letting Sebastian be the focus and letting him be what is most important, because he is what is most important. He always is, and he always will be. And I just thank you for it. Thank you in the future for sharing, for helping, and we're gonna bring him home.
Absolutely.
So that is those to me were the most relevant parts out of all of that interview. Like I said, it's worth going to listen to, and Duchess does a nice job kind of talking about Sebastian and sharing a lot of information, but and then they talk a lot about the charity, and that's all great. And I'm glad they were able to raise that money. That's a wonderful thing they did.
Well, the thing that I think is odd is she just keeps talking about the craziness. I'm not sure what craziness she's talking about. What craziness is there? It's not with the case and finding leads and it being false information. It's not craziness in that respect. The only craziness I see are on other channels, just drama among themselves, but not necessarily about her or what's going on with the case.
No, I mean, people aren't, as far as I can tell. I mean, there's lots of people. Maybe that's things going on in TikTok or places I don't follow as closely, but from what I can tell, people are kind of leaving them alone. I don't think people are just like following them around or anything like that.
No, and I heard there were rumors they weren't even living there now, that they had like kind of vacated the house. Not that they don't own it still, but that they weren't necessarily staying there all the time.
I mean,
I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying, I don't know what craziness. I just don't get what she means, but because she refers to it several times. That was probably the 5th or 6th time she talked about the craziness.
And that's what Becca Park's mom was doing too. She was talking about how the craziness, the Facebook groups and all this. That was her big complaint. And, she's in cuffs now. So it was very similar. If your kid's missing, So they spend all this time. Any negative anything goes toward the public and social media, right? Never toward the potential abductor of Sebastian, whoever might have harmed Sebastian. That person's never addressed. There's never any pleading to release my son, send him home. If you're out there, I don't think that's ever happened in 2 years of this case at this point.
Well,
Never
and
any
I like
pleading for their son
no.
to be released.
And let's see. Somebody made a comment that I thought was really good. Hang on. I lost it. But it was UA Crimson said the accusations surrounding her and Carr are still ongoing. Who's making those accusations? Because I haven't heard anybody talk about that. I heard it maybe at the beginning, but I've not heard anybody on social media talking about it at all.
I can't think of the last. I mean, it's been a while since I've heard anybody mention that online.
I mean, it's
But I
funny.
mean, what craziness.
Sharon Marlowe said it could be talking about CP going on a channel with a voice changer as Sling Blade. That was crazy.
Oh, like maybe she was being self-aware.
Yeah.
So maybe she was talking about Chris going and doing SNL style skits, dressed up as Seth, mocking him. Maybe that's what she's talking about, the craziness.
And somebody else said, I haven't heard anything about Carr in forever. And I think I don't know where these things are coming from, because I don't hear them on anything that I listen to that talks about Sebastian, and the ones we listen to and kind of frequent, I have not heard them say anything about them.
This is how little it happens. Most of our audience who's pretty invested in this case is like, who's Carr? That's how little this. I mean, it was just one of those rumors that got out there for a short time, and
if it's craziness, they said they were staying off social media. So if they're staying off social media, they shouldn't be seeing the craziness that's not there.
Yeah, Spirit Seeker hat and I were thinking the same way. Crazy like Chris dressing up as Seth, crazy like that, crazy like her giggling like a schoolgirl in the background.
I think there's also something else that sparked my memory. I was listening.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting that Chris wasn't on this interview.
Well, yes.
Because he has been on so many of them.
Because, he doesn't want anybody talking to her without him around, right?
Yeah.
And you don't hear him in the background.
No, because you would think you'd hear a little, because sometimes, you could hear conversations in the back, but he didn't appear to be talking to her. Yeah, I think that's interesting too.
And like Garrett says, if it wasn't for social media, he said, if it wasn't for social media, people would have already forgotten about this. She needs to be happy people are still talking about it. And that's
exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really the only reason people are talking about the case at all is social media. I mean,
they're still keeping it alive.
Which is part of, if you believe what I believe, that's why they're so frustrated with social media. Because otherwise, the truth is that people are human. And if the detectives are stuck and they don't have enough evidence to go forward and make an arrest or whatever, then what would happen is this case would just get filed away. It'd go cold and they move on to the next thing. Maybe they already have. Social media is keeping a spotlight on it where they just can't do that. Not completely, not without some scrutiny. So whether you like it or not, the public, we have a role to play. And we're really not that different than just the newspapers criticizing government. It's just social media criticizing government. We're just sitting here saying, we want justice for this.
Right.
Do your job. And they don't like it. It's annoying. I get it. But it's necessary sometimes to make people do their jobs.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who are claiming that Tony Mathis is a ghost and is not around anymore, I would like to show you.
Hey, Tony.
Tony says, good evening, E-family. We appreciate you keeping Sebastian's name out there. Much love to your whole family. Much love to you too.
And I hope we've been thinking about you guys a lot, and hope things are going okay. People are asking Seth some questions in chat too. That was all I was going to play from that interview tonight. Do you have any overall thoughts?
Them being not together really is interesting to me. I don't know what to say. That
So
That's a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, I had forgotten that she did that one interview a year ago alone.
Yeah.
So before
That was
that,
brief.
yeah. So at first I was thinking, okay, so
But it's my understanding he was there.
yeah. Oh, he was there.
They just didn't have him on camera.
He might have been there during Duchess. We don't know.
Possible, yeah.
What we were kind of thinking though was, is there any meaning to that? Because he's been so controlling, so controlling over. I mean, obviously you've heard in all these leaked PI recordings and everything else that he does not want people talking to Katie, even the police, unless he's present.
Oh, he says that very plainly.
Yeah. So for her to now be talking on a live for an hour alone, I mean, that's the first time that's happened, right? A short controlled interview for the news is even different than a live stream. That's interesting. And so my thinking is there's a couple of ways you could look at it. If she's smart, she knows that Chris is terrible for them publicly, right? Like
I mean, if I were advising them as a public relations person, yes.
If you were coaching them, you'd say, never let Chris on the internet again.
For sure.
Right? Because every time he comes out, he makes it so apparently obvious where the problems are that anybody sees it. I mean, we all see it.
Yeah.
Katie makes some mistakes, but she's not the volatile Chris, right?
Foolish.
I mean, Chris is part of the reason the story's so big too, because he's put a big target on all of them.
That's true.
My other thinking and wondering was what somebody else was saying in the chat. Is there a split happening? And we've all kind of thought that might be a way that this case gets solved. Also, is if there's ever a fracture between them, and with him being on his 5th marriage, I mean, patterns, right? It could happen anytime. He's a volatile guy. Could they be on the outs at some point with all this pressure and stress and everything else? And if that happens, then one could turn on the other. So it's the wild situation that they're in, but we kind of wondered maybe that's, could something like that happen? We're all kind of waiting to see if that ever happens, I think.
And Nina sent another sticker.
Thank you, Nina. Another
the
sticker.
I like that one.
Yeah. MK says, I learned more about Sebastian last night than I have in 2 years from her. That's probably right.
That's
actually
a good point.
I mean, it was good to hear the stories and get a little more.
I didn't hear the stories, but so could you give me a summary? Was it about food again?
Oh, she talked about
food.
fireworks.
A lot of food, because every story I've ever heard involves food.
Yeah, I should have played that actually, because she does talk about Halloween with him and how because you're like, oh, it seems like he really loves Halloween, and she says, well, I think part of the reason he loves Halloween is he gets to eat all that candy.
There's something
the
about
food control thing is definitely a thing. I mean, it happens.
He talked about fireworks and how he loved fireworks. But he had to wear he wore like headphones, because the sound sensitivity. But he loved to watch them. He just didn't like the sound. And once they figured out that was the problem, he loved that. To talk about that.
I'll tell you the other thing she does that remind me of the Becca Parks mom throughout is when she does talk about Sebastian, she will say sweet things about him, but then she also has to end with this little negative, like she does that. Well, when he's not in trouble or acting bad or, those kind of things.
See,
and it's like, this is what a lot of these people do is they victim blame. They have to put the victim in the negative for some reason to justify what happened.
I said this the other day.
They all do it. And and Katie's done it for 2 years when she talks about Sebastian. There's always a little negative spin on the stories. So when you go back, if you listen to all that, you'll hear.
And I'll put the link in chat so you can listen to the whole thing.
Thank you, Sharon Marlowe.
And we all know.
Wait.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Sharon Marlowe says, I believe God will reveal the evil in his own time. Everything done in the dark always comes to light. Prayers for you, Seth and Sebastian.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Sharon.
But
I know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say that when someone is absent from you, you tend to remember the good and you forget the bad.
Right. You don't complain, especially when what you supposedly are trying to do is get the public to rally behind your son. You don't talk about their flaws,
Right.
You
about
want
them
to
getting
you want them to seem to be the most endearing child that ever lived.
right. And she
Yeah.
almost cannot help herself. Even when she's telling sweet stories, there's this little, she ends several of them with these little, well, when he's not in trouble or getting,
Yes. And we do need Chris McDonough. I agree. I think Chris McDonough would be outstanding.
Oh yeah. He's talked about it. I don't know what it takes. I mean, they've got an organization that they've got their own whatever, but I hope that happens. I know Seth is funny. Sebastian loves the sound of the fireworks. When he was little, the sounds were a trigger for him.
Oh, she didn't say he loved the sound. She said that the sound bothered him, and they got him headphones for the sound so he could still watch them, but the sound didn't bother him. That's the way I understood it. But I thought it was odd that she talked about that. She went on about that for a while.
Yeah, she did. The baseball games, how he liked baseball at one point, and
there's another thing Seth said.
Sebastian was always the one lighting the fireworks. I still have fireworks waiting for him when he comes home.
Aw, that's perfect. He'll love it.
Yeah, our son with the fireworks is kind of, he likes, it's like a love-hate a little bit.
Love-hate.
He wants to see them, but he kind of covers the ears at the same time. It's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that with concerts too. He likes to go to concerts, but sometimes certain noises really affect him.
Yeah, it just depends. You just don't know exactly. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. Thoughtful Criminal says she comes out to her across as disingenuous when she's talking about him. She drags the story out to make it seem more than it is. Yeah, it is pretty mundane topics for sure.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of wonder if my bias comes in too, because at this point, my opinion is pretty well made. But I mean, it's an informed opinion. It's been a well-researched opinion, but I mean, at this point, I just believe she knows what happened and is responsible for what happened. So when I listen to her, I get those feelings too. And maybe I'm biased at this point on it, and can't quite hear her tell stories and wonder, if they're not disingenuous also. But that's how it sounded to me. It does feel like she has a hard time even coming up with stories to tell.
Everybody says Chris McDonough said that once he solves the Summer case, he is going to be on the Sebastian case.
Yeah, that's one difficult task to another, right?
And he said he has to be invited by the parents. Someone else said that.
Yeah, I remember him saying something like that. But I think Seth and Chris have been in touch recently, so I don't know if that's going anywhere yet.
Let's hope so.
And I'm sure they can only take on so many cases at a time. But after we saw what they did with, I can never remember her name. The lady that was found in a tanker.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. We talked about her quite a bit.
Yeah, we did. I just can never remember. I always get the name.
I can never remember her name.
But the way they handled and worked that case was really, was really brilliant. And so I've been hoping that would happen.
Okay.
Well, UA Crimson says, can I ask what Katie could do that everyone wouldn't be questioning if it would be disingenuous? Probably not now, because at this point, it's been 2 years. You can't get back that week of silence. You can't get back those moments where she turned down major media YouTubers with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. The lack of searching, the running from the state. I mean, that alone's a massive red flag. All that stuff's in the history now. Anything she does at this point, you kind of have to take with the most important moments were the ones closer to the disappearance the further we get away from the disappearance, the less important her actions become, because now she's had time to adapt. She can see where the criticism is. She can correct, and they have done that. When they've been criticized about things, they've fixed them. So no, it'll all look contrived at this point, because history's already happened. We've already seen it. You can't get that all back. We can't make those shoes disappear. The shoes are there. The wallet, the phone, if all those had been gone, we probably would be looking at this case very differently. But what I believe they thought is that if they came out with the autism story, that we would all sit here and say, well, there was another kid with autism that got lost in the woods.
Jenny Machete coming in with the jokes.
Yeah, Jenny Machete says probably stop effing lying would help. Yeah, I mean, that would help too. Answer questions directly. Katie doesn't really do the timeline. How about explain what happened between 6 o'clock and 6:33 the morning that Sebastian disappeared? Tony says, tell us where Seth's son is.
Yeah,
That'd be a start.
Yeah.
We might start to believe you. Tell us what was happening with Chris. Where was Chris exactly? We still don't know.
Give us a timeline, like a real timeline.
So Chris claims he's given this timeline to YouTubers that are on his side.
Don't just
the secret timeline.
Yeah.
What's the story on the cameras? Did you have cameras in the house or not? Why weren't the cameras working that night? Just start answering normal questions that any innocent parent would answer.
With direct, straight answers, not a narrative.
Right.
Right.
Answer the questions. Forget all this law enforcement told us not to talk nonsense.
Yeah.
They didn't
How
say
many
that.
how
They
many
came
of
out and
these
said they
people
didn't
have
say
we
that.
heard that from? We just heard that the other day.
I mean, if Chris and Katie would like to answer questions, we can write up the questions just to give us direct, truthful answers. Start there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we don't actually know. How do you know? Explain the 3 black t-shirts. Explain that.
That's
how
been
do
your
we not
point, isn't
How
it?
do we not know? We know it's what is it? Minecraft, Star Wars, Halloween. Is that the 3? Anyway.
Or Lego. Was it Lego?
No, not Lego. It's 3 brands, whatever it is.
I'm sure Seth and Tony.
It's 3 possible brands on the black
Yeah.
shirt. How do you know it was one of those if you didn't see him leave the house?
And
How do you know?
Right, because you would.
You didn't see
logically-
him, right? The last time you saw him was him going to his room. How do you know what he wore to bed?
Right, because Seth said he always wore pajama pants and no shirt to bed.
That's what Seth said.
Yeah.
So how do you know he picked a black shirt and that it's one of those 3? How do you know this?
And then how do you
Answer
know-
that question and maybe we'll start.
Where are the other 2?
Where are the other 2? It is. There's a reason that doesn't make sense because it's a lie.
Because it was a black
I don't
shirt
know why.
getaway.
I don't know what that lie is. I don't know if you messed up at the beginning when you were talking to the police and then you couldn't take it back. Something happened with that black shirt story, but not knowing, there's no way to know what he was wearing if you didn't see him when he left.
Correct.
And you don't know which clothes are missing.
Because it could be one of 3.
Right. So how do you not know? It makes no sense. And if something doesn't make sense, it's not true.
That's
So
what-
you are lying about these black shirts.
That's what the judge
I don't know
of
why
judge-
you're lying,
Mhm.
but you are lying.
That's what the judge of judge
If
says.
they explain things like that are
Judy.
simple question, there's a simple answer to that question, but because they've lied, they can't answer it.
Right.
How do you know he was wearing the black pants with the white stripe? White stripe. Did you see him wear that to bed? How do you know he didn't go to bed in boxers? How do you know? He
Right.
didn't
I
change?
mean, how do you once he
How do
closed
you
the
know?
door, if you didn't see him again, how do you know he didn't change clothes 17 times and had on a purple sweater and green pants? I mean, you don't know.
How do you know he didn't have a hidden go bag that he was planning a runaway? How do you know what he was? You don't know what he was wearing if you didn't see him, right?
And it wasn't what he had on at Texas Roadhouse.
But we're very clear on the poster that this is what he was wearing.
Because his
How?
clothes at
How do
Texas
we know
Roadhouse
this?
were used for the scent.
Right.
We know that
wasn't the same clothes.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure law enforcement's tried to ask you these questions. I just don't know what you said. Where was Chris specifically standing when he was on the phone? Who called who first? Was there an interruption in the call?
And where are
Who
the
else did you
call?
call
Where's
the
the
morning
call
Sebastian
logs?
went missing?
Well, show me the call forensics. Show me where they pinged for the 2 hour to 3 hour we don't know phone call because it's changed several times. Tell us about those locations. have they done any of the Cellbrite technology to see where any of that was? Did he have GPS data in his car? OnStar, have they looked at any of that stuff? I mean, we don't know.
There's a
Don't
million questions that
being-
nobody will answer or
Quit
ask
being
them
so
because
vague about everything.
Yeah, these
because
are
it
just-
doesn't matter at this point.
it really doesn't. I mean,
Um,
now it's time to,
And
if you
NorCal
don't want people
Gal,
to suspect you.
thank you.
yes, NorCal Gal says, enjoy your sleep, KP and CP. Your free days are numbered, in my opinion. And then
Thank
we got
you.
one right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we got one right behind that from Bliss Blessing. She says, let's talk about his truck.
Right.
What's that story? What is all that about? His truck being in the neighborhood and connected. What was that all about? You had your cameras seized a year after the disappearance, right? At least we're hearing 3 cameras and her
People
phone.
don't get warrants to have things seized
All
if they're not guilty or
Why?
not suspicious.
What
I shouldn't
did
say that.
What did they
Suspicious.
see? What do they know that brought them in to take those cameras? I'm sure you've got an idea, Katie. What is it? What do they have that made that happen? What were they looking for? I mean,
we could go on, right? Why did that lady stand at your car for a minute and a half? And what did you say to her at Texas Roadhouse? That would be one I'd like to know.
did she hand you anything? Did you hand her anything? Maybe she wasn't involved in Sebastian's disappearance, at least not directly, but maybe something else was going on.
Tell us about the interaction. Clear it up.
What happened? Had you ever seen her before? Do you know who she is? Pretty basic questions. Was she a stranger to you? Do you remember do you frequently go to Roadhouse and she's a regular homeless or passerby or customer, or I don't know.
We could go on, right?
Yeah. There's lots of questions that they're not going to ask them when they have access to him, at least not publicly, because they're uncomfortable questions.
Well, I've got another one. Why were your windows rolled up when you were in the neighborhood looking for him that morning?
Yep.
Why did you pass by someone who was walking on the street in your neighborhood and not approach them?
What time did your mom arrive at the house, and how was she so close?
Right.
Why was she that close at 6 o'clock in the morning as a real estate agent that lives pretty far away?
And they don't usually start their jobs until business hours of at the earliest, I would think 9 a.m.
And we're just, somebody goes, did you get your answer? Hey, you. We're just doing this off the top of our head. And this would send them into a tailspin, and they wouldn't probably be able to answer one of those questions.
Right, Bliss.
They'd jump off our panel and be gone.
Why did Chris tell Dog that he would never be found?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Why did you turn down Dog in the first place?
Right.
The first time he asked him, we wanted to come in and help.
Yeah.
Hall Monitor, you can go look at Mob Crew's got that video of the windows being up and walking and driving by someone who is clearly out doing their morning walk. That would be the first person I would approach. Have you seen a child? Sorry.
No, that's good.
It bothers me.
There's so many people and so much that happened and no answers for any of it or explanations. Those are the things that they could start with.
Lay it all out on the table.
We'll be glad to come up with
Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong.
Right.
Maybe there's an explanation on the black shirt stuff. I can't think of what it is. There's nothing sane that makes sense to me there.
Yeah, this is a good one. Why do you allow your husband to mock your son still while he's missing? What kind of behavior is that? That's a great question. Yes, and if you didn't have cameras and that were really true, why did you have why did you work for a security company where you get those kinds of things for free?
Right.
And we heard Nina say that he had cameras set up in the kitchen so that they could see when he was sneaking snacks when he wasn't supposed to have. We've had people say that that it was in the home.
I don't know. Did Nina say that?
I don't know if Nina, maybe she did. I don't remember that.
Yes, Nina did in one of the interviews.
She only did one.
And UA Crimson wants to know when Dog's going to come search. Well, how old is Dog?
He's in his 70s. And we've said this from day one on Dog.
Well, maybe she wasn't around on this.
We said this, and this is not in hindsight. We always said, you don't bring in Dog. He's not going to go running through yards, tackling people. He's in his 70s. Those days are behind him. Nowadays, what you want somebody like, what?
GTO guy.
Nowadays, what you want Dog for is to make phone calls, go on the news, coordinate, give some advice, that kind of stuff.
Be
He's
a public
an
figure.
advisor now.
Yeah.
He's not
And to be
riding
that
around in the
public figure.
SUVs, jumping out and
You
tackling
also
people.
use his connections to get
Yes.
to other people.
Yeah, you use him for media. Like when he boosted, there was that one video he boosted on X where he got millions of views, tons of reach that nobody else has had in this case. It's a gift to have Dog involved,
And we also,
just for that reason.
we also know that Dog's people have been here. We know that for a fact. We've seen them with our own eyes.
And we do know that Dog has accomplished things, but I just can't say what they are.
Yes,
because I can't.
yeah.
I just can't.
not
But I
privy.
know Dog has accomplished things. That's about as far as I can take it. But unless sources want to give me permission to break those confidences, but we don't do that with people unless they want it said. But I can confirm to you, unless you think I'm, if you whatever you think of our
Credibility.
our credibility, I guess. Take that for what it's worth. If you trust or don't.
And you want to read that?
Come on, CP. I dare you to be a man and come on here to be interviewed by Mr. E. I know you won't because you're a big pussycat.
Heck, I would take. We could just type up questions and email it to him.
Well, you would be fair.
And I would be fair, and I'd be nice to him actually.
And we wouldn't
But
have to be
I don't
on
know
here.
that I.
No,
don't
we
know.
would be of the utmost respect because we don't treat people like that.
No, we'd be fine.
Mrs. E, did you check your phone?
I just would
I
ask
did.
tough questions. I would try to do it in the fair, not let him walk all over, but also not.
He
Not be
wouldn't
too hardball.
monopolize the show, that's for sure.
I
Yeah.
want like Nancy Grace kind of answers.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Yes. No.
I wouldn't even be as. I don't know. But I don't.
funny.
I don't really need. I don't. The thing with Chris is really we need to talk to Katie. Katie's the one that has all the answers.
Oh,
According to
that's,
Chris, he
that's
was nowhere near her. We were closer than Chris was. How did she know what he was wearing when he went missing, period, but did not know which shirt was missing? Paralysis by analysis. I
mhm.
think it's a big, big flaw in their story.
Mm-hmm. And thank
And
you
they
for the
insisted
super
and wanted
chat.
it corrected on the
GTFO.
flyer and all this. How do you know? He could have had a go bag.
We don't know.
The abductor could have brought him a change of clothes so he wouldn't be identified, for all you know, if you don't know which shirt's missing. So you're either so meticulous you know every shirt in his closet,
Mhm.
or you're not meticulous and you have no idea what clothes are missing.
Mhm.
I would be the latter. I would have no idea what clothes of my children were gone. I'd be like, I have no idea what they were
Our
wearing.
kids have a ridiculous amount of clothes.
But you know what I mean? Like if our kids were gone,
There's no
we'd have
way
to be
you
like,
would know.
I would have no idea what they were wearing. It would take me forever to figure out if anything was missing.
It
would
takes
have
me
no idea.
days to reorganize their closets.
So either you have to be like us, where you just have no idea. I would be like, I don't know what he was wearing. He went to bed in pajamas, but I don't know.
These
Or
are-
you're certain he was wearing a black shirt. Well, how are you certain if you didn't see him?
right.
So either you saw him in a black shirt, or you didn't. And if you saw him in a black shirt,
That's
then
a
you're
whole other thing.
then you're lying to the public about something, right? I wonder if it's not the latter.
Yep.
That's
Hmm.
what I wonder. I wonder if they know he was in a black shirt because that's not the last time she saw him. That's what I
That's
wonder.
a good question.
That's my guess, but I don't know. Either way, it's a problem. Okay, let's see what your number one question is. Betsy says, number one question I've always had was, why didn't CP ask Seth had he heard from Sebastian day one, hour one? Yes. Right. That you almost have to remind yourself of these red flags.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we
Because-
haven't done a red flag episode
Because
here.
and this is what Tony was saying, paralysis by analysis. It is sort of what has happened for some people.
Mm-hmm.
The more you look at something sometimes, the more complicated you make it, and it's really not that complicated. This case is not that complicated. The who has never been that complicated.
We've got some good stuff going on
know.
in that.
Because
Ah.
but yeah, why didn't they call and say, oh my God, we can't find Sebastian. Have you talked to him today? Did he message you? Has he checked your email? Has he called? Did you have any missed calls? Or
How are you going to handle it if it goes south?
how are you going to handle this if it goes south, Seth? Yeah.
Spirit Seeker Squad said that's the short list of questions for Katie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the super chat. my goodness, we've got some
Okay.
good stuff.
Spirit Seeker, thank you for the super chat. She said that's a short list of questions for Katie.
I already read that.
Just curious, UA Crimson. I know we were kind of having fun with you a little bit, but does anything we're saying make you go at all, huh?
I mean,
What
really,
is it? Instead of not,
the camera thing
instead
is
of
not
just
even an
reflecting,
issue, and you just keep going over and over and over. I think
but
it's
instead
funny.
of just kind of avoiding the obvious problems, what do you think on the black shirts? Like, does it make you think at all? Do you kind of wonder, why didn't they ask Seth where Sebastian was? Or are you just so you're dug in on the position that you're not going to consider?
And he did make a comment about the security system being upgraded. Well, how do you upgrade your security system if you don't have a security system? That is a good question. Thank you, Lover Girl, for that one.
Oh, well,
You can't upgrade the system you don't have.
let's not insult. It looks like, are we getting insulting in there?
Yeah, let's not.
Let's not do that. I mean, I I appreciate that she stayed here and listened to it. I just hate for it to get ugly in the chat though. So let's not do this. If you don't mind, let's not do that. It's unfortunate that it is hard to discuss things that when we are all so passionately disagree and it not eventually get kind of ugly, because ultimately we all have strong feelings about it and we want justice on it. And
Nina sent us another super.
It's frustrating when people can't see the problems, I think, for us.
Nina sent us another super sticker. This time she sent popcorn. Thank you,
Thank you,
Nina.
Nina.
We need some popcorn.
And I don't know if we said thank you to GTO guy. That was pretty funny. Thank you very much.
She said the black shirt thing was explained on panel. I haven't heard an explanation.
No, he did not explain it. What he did was he kept saying, well, there's 3 black shirts because there's one shirt with this one shirt. And the PI kept saying, I don't understand. What do you mean? How do you know that it's a Minecraft, a Star Wars, or a Halloween? Well, because I just told you that it's a.
Yeah, he never actually answered.
He didn't explain it at all. He didn't explain it. That is not an explanation. It is impossible to know which shirt he was wearing when he left unless you saw him. He could have left bare chested for all you know, unless you know for a fact that one of those shirts is missing. And they don't say that all 3 shirts are missing. They say that it must have been one of those shirts because that's his favorite 3 things or something is what he tries to imply.
This is what she's saying. CP said that Sebastian had a bunch of black shirts to wear to bed and they had 3 prints. So it was one of the 3 prints. So which one was it? The other 2 would be there, correct?
The one would be missing.
Right.
But they can't tell you what it was.
But the whole point of what he's trying to say here is that you had to have seen him to say that's what he went missing.
You don't know that he wore that when he was gone, when he left.
You don't know that that's what he didn't that he didn't change clothes.
Because they clearly don't know his shirts well enough to know every single one that's missing, right? If he has a bunch of black shirts, he went to bed wearing a black shirt. How do you know he didn't throw on a green shirt and walk out?
Put on a sweatshirt.
If you don't know every single shirt in his closet, which clearly they don't, because they would be able to tell you exactly which black shirt was gone, right? If they were that meticulous, which they don't, so they're not. So you don't know that he didn't change it into a different shirt when he left unless you saw him. It's impossible to know unless you know every shirt he owns. And if you knew every shirt that he owns, you'd know which one was gone. That's why. That's why. That explanation doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Eve
just doesn't.
Eve Loves God has been a member for 15 months. She said, time flies when you're having fun. Well, thank you, Eve. We appreciate you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, we could go on and on with these guys.
Yeah, you're not getting away from the black shirt thing because it's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. And it's a big problem that he's not caught on camera leaving. It's a problem that all of his shoes are accounted for, that he didn't take money or his phone. They're contradictory statements. The phone calls. What happened from 6 o'clock when she woke Sebastian up to 6:33 when she got in her car? Because it's a really long time.
Good point, Mandy.
33 minutes is a very, very long time. Katie and Chris ruled out Sebastian leaving any exit of the house, though. That is true.
That's true.
How did they know?
Right.
He went out that door.
Yeah.
They couldn't. They couldn't know that.
And you're right. 33 minutes is a really long time, especially when it takes about 30 seconds to get to the school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe
And
2
being
minutes to search a
honest,
whole
maybe
house.
2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes to get to the school, if that.
Oh
Truly.
no, we timed it. We timed it live on
30
camera.
seconds?
It took what? It was like 30 seconds,
I mean,
30,
it's very-
45 seconds. Yeah.
I know it's close. I know it's close.
I thought you were with us when we timed
I
it.
was, but I thought it was more like 2 minutes.
But she's in her car
No.
at like 6:32 or 6:33 driving the neighborhood. And she says she wakes up at 6 to go wake up Sebastian. And then about 3 minutes later, she's calling Chris. So about 6:03, 6:05, somewhere in there. Okay, what'd you do for the next half hour? Half hour. What happened? That's like watching Seinfeld with all the commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, think of how long it would take to watch a whole sitcom with the commercials.
Right.
I mean, it would take you 5 minutes tops to search your whole house
With the closets.
with the
I thought-
closets and everything. You
I
know.
thought that Seth was the one that pointed out that there were no shoes missing.
Yeah, you're incorrect about that. Seth is the one that pointed it out to Ellie that all the shoes were there.
That's what Seth claimed a year or so ago when we were doing a stream. We asked him that in the chat, and I said, "Who was the first person to notice?" Because it was a question that I had never heard asked at that point. So we asked Seth, because I rarely ask Seth questions actually, but I did because that's one that had been bugging me, and I asked him, who was the first person to realize that Sebastian's shoes were all accounted for? And he said it was him, that he was standing in that little foyer entryway or whatever, and looked down and said, well, his shoes are right here. What shoes was he wearing? And that's when it first came to their attention that his shoes were accounted for.
Right. Lisa B. Always has been a member for 14 months. Thank you, Lisa B. Always. And Brenda Calvert says, why was there no center camera footage of Sebastian? And she has been a member for 7 months. Thank you, Brenda. We appreciate you. We appreciate you both. The Real Me Too has been a member for 17 months too. Thank you so much, Real Me Too. We appreciate you.
And we
she
will
says,
not give up.
Sebastian, we will never give up. No, we will not.
And Abby wanted me to see her comment. She said, Aunt E, did y'all notice Katie and Sebastian were wearing the same shoes at Texas Roadhouse? Makes you wonder who really took out the trash. I agree. And, another thing I thought about with that is, at Texas Roadhouse, short sleeve shirt and jeans. It's obviously was a warmer winter night because he had on short sleeves. And then he goes home and puts on a jacket and a hoodie to go take out the trash. Seems a little odd to me to do that once you get home. I don't know. It's another one of my questions that I just had that's bothered me about that whole situation.
Sorry, I'm writing
Somebody, Trooper Irish Mom said, see my last comment. I am looking.
You guys have been awesome tonight. Let me
Yeah,
just
they've been on it. Trooper. I timed it. It's also 33 minutes round half trip to Gallatin. I don't know what that means. I timed it.
It's 33 minutes round trip to Gallatin from their house.
Round half trip. Oh, maybe from the Bowersock's house? Is that what they're saying?
This is what I believe, is what Megan Ellis says. They messed up and forgot the shoes.
That's what we've always said.
This is what I always believed. And it's common in crimes. It's another pattern.
You can look it up. You can look it up. It's one of the patterns.
It's one of the reasons I don't necessarily, I wonder if this investigation has been kind of botched at times. Because if Seth truly was the first one to notice, that's bad. Because it is such a common mistake that people make if there's any foul play.
I'm trying to do it too. Okay, I'll stop.
That people forget the shoes. And if you're new to us, then the reason people forget the shoes is because you don't think to put shoes on somebody if they're knocked out or deceased or whatever you're doing to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. That is correct. I've never heard Katie address who pointed out the shoes were gone, but I do know, I have heard Seth address it.
I've heard her talk about it, but the first person supposedly that noticed it was Seth.
Mhm.
Now, maybe there was a policeman that noticed it earlier before Seth got there or whatever. I don't know. But according to Seth, at least to the people in that room, it was news to them that that had not been checked yet.
I'm not going to keep going back and forth with all this stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
We,
not.
I mean, that's really no point. His shoes were accounted for.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who pointed it out, really.
no, it doesn't.
It bothers me. It makes me worry about bad detective work.
Yeah. That's what it does.
For
That's
sure.
what it worries me.
Well, I mean, okay, let's say it went like this. The detectives are there. At first they're thinking runaway. And what we know at some point they were not thinking that. So at whatever point they began to become suspicious of something else happening, or even before that, they probably were just trying to get an idea what he was wearing when he left.
Mhm.
So they likely went to the mom and said, okay, what shoes do you think he would wear out? And she would, I mean, that probably be one of the first questions she got.
Mhm.
So it's not like, what secret would there be to hold back? At that
Yeah,
point, she would know it's over.
I spy.
If she had forgotten the shoes the night before, when that morning happens and they ask that question, so what shoes would Sebastian likely have worn? She'd be, if she had truly forgotten, like that's what we theorize. At that moment, she's going, oh crap. I don't know. Maybe he left with no shoes. Because I don't know. I think maybe they're all here.
they're all
Let's check.
accounted for. Yeah.
He had whatever, 3 or 4 pair or something, right? And they go quickly and check.
Well, do you remember a long time ago, you did an interrogation with her as if she was Katie and you were the police
Oh, yeah,
officer?
yes,
Remember? It
yes.
was great because
Yeah.
you were like, oh, okay, so he did have shoes on. Do you have a receipt for those shoes?
Oh, right. Like
Yeah.
we did the
Well, and that's if they're a good detective. That doesn't mean that they had good questioning.
right. We played through it like, so on the fly, how could Katie have handled it? And we were role playing it, and you said as Katie something like, oh well, I just bought him another pair of shoes. It's not here. And then the detective would ask a question like, okay, well, so where did you buy those shoes? And what
I
would you
said
say?
BJ's. I said BJ's.
BJ's. Okay, so did you buy with cash or a credit card? You know, because you were talking about how easy it would be, or not easy, but you were talking about how she could lie her way out of it.
Yes.
And you proved
But it might
wrong.
be harder to do than you think on the fly.
Mhm.
So instead of Katie lying and saying, oh, well, there's this other pair of shoes that might have been tough to do, because she would have had to have been like, really quickly come up with a BJ story or Target or whatever. And then of course there's a paper trail and cameras, and they would have verified that and
Mhm.
said, what day did you buy the shoes? And, whatever.
Yeah.
Lying like that to the police on the fly is harder than it might sound under that kind of pressure. So she more likely just told the truth and said, oh yeah, no, all of his shoes are here.
Right.
Maybe he left with no shoes.
I Spy says, my question is for Seth to think back how Katie was acting when he arrived at the house. Also, was there a police body cam of that? I would assume that there's a police body cam, but they're not going to show that to us.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
can't FOIA that stuff because it's all active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, to see that one day, I would love to see those interrogation videos and that body cam footage.
Yeah. I would like to see how
So I bet those stories are
well or how poorly they were done.
Yeah.
Right.
I bet those stories are drastically different than what we believe.
Dreaming says, so many red flags. In a true emergency, you'd call work to alert the other parent. My dad was a coal miner, and in emergencies, they'd go get him 2 miles underground to come out of the mines. That's 100% true.
Of course.
100%.
Well, that whole thing, just his wording about don't be mad. Don't be mad when he called Seth. Don't be mad, but Sebastian's missing.
Don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other questions that we could ask, but we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, we should probably. So. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight, and go check out Duchess's interview if you want to see the full thing. And I guess the views still go to charity, right? So go and watching it Probably helps the
I
charity.
have no
I
idea
don't
how
know how
that works.
She had
if
a
you guys
goal.
can get us to 10,000 subscribers, I will find out.
Yeah, so maybe even going and watching will help the charity there. I'm not sure.
That's a good point.
What?
If Chris had called Seth at work at the jail, the call would have been recorded.
Oh, Mandy, you're so smart.
Yes, that's right. Because yeah, you're right. They would have everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't thought about that. That's good.
That's a good point.
Well, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight, and our next live stream, we're actually going to do more on Becca Park. Is the plan?
Yeah, we have much more to do on that.
Yeah, because we're going to go into more. Because there's a lot of interviews to go through. We're going to get into Kimmy and Rich, and a little bit more of the mom also, because we didn't finish all that. And then, of course, we'll be back Friday for our weekly true crime roundup, and we'll do our poor judgment segment, which we got a lot of candidates this time that people have sent us.
Yes, and you guys, I didn't even occur to me to ask our community to send them in, but I can't remember who sent it right now, but I can tell you who sent it. But whoever sent it, that was awesome.
The one today, is that the one you sent me?
Yes.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
that was a good one. We'll definitely have to do that one.
Who sent it?
And Bliss Blessings, thank you for the super chat. She said maybe UA would be able to set up an interview with Chris and Katie and the E's, and the E's in our chat would be extremely respectful for Sebastian.
Yeah, I think our chat would be.
Jen and Don, though, thank you so much. That's who sent the poor judgment for this week. That was a good one.
It was good. She sent it to me so I could read it, and I was cracking up.
I mean, I guess we'd have to talk about that.
I
don't think they'd come on anyway, but
I don't think I could be on it.
It'd have to be me.
I think I would get
probably,
and I think that one would get really fired up too. I think
I'd be okay.
Pretty emotional. I'd probably sit here and cry through the whole thing, and she would probably be yelling at him. So
I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't cry at all. I would just
actually she would probably be good. She's a professional.
Yeah.
But I've
dealt with parents that I know were child abusers and had them in my office and treated them like they were my best friend, so I've had to do that in my career, so I could do it. Would I want to do it?
Sonny Mathis says we'll help host.
There you go.
Oh, she's been timed out again. Darn. I don't know who's we're winding it up anyway.
Yeah. Well, maybe things got ugly again. I don't know. See everything that's happening in the chat, but I know.
Yeah, I think we've actually been very fair and kind, and it got kind of heated again. And I think we've given grace enough tonight.
Okay. Yeah. So we will talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll thank you, Tony and Seth, for hanging out with us too and answering some questions for people. They all appreciate that. There's so many questions everybody has, so they always appreciate your time that way, and we do too. So we will see you guys soon.
Thanks everybody for everything tonight.
We'll have to talk for a minute because I totally forgot to set up the outro video. So just give me a minute.
And thank you for the prayers for Middle E. Thank you so much.
Okay, so she was being disrespectful to Seth.
Well, we're not going to be
if that's
disrespectful.
The case,
yeah, we're not going to do that. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Well, it's just, and you can't beat a dead horse. Quit arguing and move on.
What I don't understand is, let me just say something real quick before we go out, because it does bother me.
Okay.
The venom towards Seth
it
is ridiculous.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous.
I mean, why would, and that was the thing there. It was just berating. Ask him about the cameras. Ask him about he's not involved.
The thing is nobody should have to ask Seth anything.
Yeah. He knows.
Seth is, in our minds, he's ruled out. He has the strongest alibi of anybody involved.
He may as well have been
on the moon.
On the moon. He may as well have been in a rocket ship orbiting the Earth. That's
right.
how solid his alibi is. So people attacking Seth, why would you attack an innocent parent? The parent you know that's innocent. Well, of course, every parent's got flaws, right?
Yes.
I mean, of course, you can nitpick anybody in our chat. You can nitpick any of us if you go through our lives and find mistakes and dumb things we've all done.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know he's innocent, why would you attack the man that's missing his child that you know had nothing to do with it? For a fact, 100% fact.
Mm-hmm.
Verified through 2 attorneys, Davidson County's and his own, in letter form. It's proven. Why? I mean, there's something wrong with you, actually, if you're doing that.
Right. Or if you're.
Or you need to reflect, or you've been brainwashed.
Right.
Because you've been in an echo chamber. You're in that fringe group that doesn't understand reality, that Seth is not the problem. You got brainwashed, probably.
Mm-hmm. Got a good episode on brainwashing.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. But I mean, that's why if people are protective of Seth, that's the kind of stuff that just makes no sense at all. He had no access.
If anything, Seth really should be just, and I don't mean this ugly, but I mean, he should be just disregarded. People shouldn't be looking into his past. Anything.
Literally anybody else in Sumner County should be a suspect before Seth.
Right.
The mailman, the guy that works at the corner market, the janitor,
the garbage men that should be a bigger suspect.
Right. They're higher on the list of possible suspects than Seth, because
everybody in the neighborhood should be anybody that was home.
Yes. And if you think Seth is a suspect, retire from true crime. You're not cut out for this.
That's true.
Really. You're just not. Time to start a sewing channel or something else.
Not knitting.
Find a new hobby.
The knitting community is supposed to be rough.
Because this deductive logic and reasoning is not for you. Because he has an alibi.
An ironclad.
He didn't have the means, he didn't have the motive, and he didn't have the opportunity. He was getting Sebastian that summer. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
We did a whole episode about this a long time ago.
I know.
It really frustrates me. It frustrates me. Nobody needs to be bothering Seth.
But it's easier to convince a man that he's been what's the Mark Twain expression?
I can find it. What it
about being fooled.
Mark Twain.
Fooled me once.
No.
That one?
No. I
got it. I'll find it. It's easier to fool people than convince them they have been fooled.
Yes, that's the one.
Right.
But anyway, it is always interesting to hear how people think that don't see what's kind of painfully obvious to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, if you ask the right question, my hope is Socratic method, which can be effective against brainwashing. If you ask the right question sometimes, and people take that question later and they go, how do I explain that? If they're honest with themselves and ask an honest question to themselves, it gets those gears going.
Right.
And they start to question everything else that they think they believe about it.
That's the key, though. It's asking yourself an honest question.
Right.
Don't go in with your bias.
Yeah.
Because even looking at, what we've gone through to the process to feel like we have I shouldn't say a general. We don't know what happened, but we do know that people have knowledge. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what I was going to say. I was going to say something about asking honest questions about that.
Yeah.
But you have to be honest with yourself and go, hey, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
I know what you're getting at.
You have to finish my sentence.
I'm trying not to step on you.
Finish it. It's like me handing you the phone. I'm handing you the phone to finish my thought.
Which happens in real life.
She does that all the time. I'll be talking to her and she goes, let him tell you, let him just take the phone. And I'll be like, I thought I was talking to Mr. E. And she's like, in the kitchen or in another room or and I'm like, what?
Well, I walk away because we know each other so well. He can finish my thoughts. He knows what I'm trying to say.
Let's see. Annalise, please, mods, can you copy the email address? I thought of something incredibly important for Mr. and Mrs. E, not seeing my comments. So,
who is that?
I can't say her name.
Ooh, I don't know.
Anna Sajace. Copy the
I
email
got
address.
sleepy, and
We could probably find your
chat was
comment.
going so fast too. Somebody said, "Can you look at what somebody just said?" And I'm like going back and I can't find it. So I apologize if we're losing you in chat. She's going to go ahead and put that the chat email up.
I guess what I'm trying to say is
And I said, you don't know what you're
we
saying.
were fair and honest
Yes.
in getting to our conclusions.
Yes.
At the
we asked-
beginning, yes.
And we asked ourselves honest questions. And I still have sympathy for the people who I believe have knowledge of this. I do. It's just that how I'm built. But what I'm saying is we did ask honest questions to get where we are. That's what I'm trying to say.
We did. If you were with us from,
and thank you for forcing me to get it out.
but yes, we did. Whenever theories came up, especially that first 6 months to a year or so of us doing that, we said, okay, well, how does this work? And we would ask the question,
Well, and how many times did we
is
run
this possible?
How many times we run through scenarios and come up with had this scenario, and we would just go through it over and over again and take in all the facts. And I mean, we did it over and over again and eliminated so many things and just deductive reasoning over and over again. And so it wasn't from lack of thinking about it.
Thank you, Mandy. Mandy's going to be my new mouthpiece.
Mrs. E is saying, don't make things more complicated than they are. Facts are facts, and facts don't have feelings. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, you are.
Perfect.
Now it's true. I rely on him too much. I'll just say, he knows what I want to say, and I'll hand him the phone and I'll walk away. It's the truth. It is really the truth. I do it with my mother and my sister. I do it with everybody, my friends, because we're always together, and he knows what I'm thinking, and he can finish my thoughts. So.
Oh, Alabama John said he wants to talk to you right now. Who is that?
I don't know who Alabama John is.
Alabama John wants to talk to you right now. He's also live on Rumble. Come by when you are free.
Well, we don't go on panels. So
No, we generally don't.
No, Mr. E's only done it one time.
And that was scheduled well in advance.
Yeah.
And we've only had one person on our panel.
I'd be hesitant to, especially not knowing who the person is at all.
And UA Crimson said she sent you an email.
Just, I don't know.
Thank you.
I'll go check out Alabama John. Check out their channel, see what they're all about. But I appreciate you.
I like his picture. Purple, by the way. Is that like Max Headroom? That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah, that's good.
They're right here now, though. I guess she means we're right here now, so we can't go to Alabama John.
Yeah, and I think we're at our limit anyway.
When I can't get my words out, it's time for me to.
But I appreciate him Alabama John reaching out. But I'll check out their channel later. But I appreciate the invite. But we are probably wrapping up.
We are wrapping up.
Yeah, 3 hours.
I'm getting that look.
You're getting the look.
I'm getting the look.
Getting the glaze.
Yes.
The glaze.
We are the vampires in a way.
And remember, I'm an hour ahead, so
yes.
It's really late for me.
But
you three are here now. He should have come here. That's what I meant. Exactly.
Exactly. Thanks for clarifying. We're kind of fried.
I'm not big on being summoned anywhere either. So
well, we in his defense, he could have a heck of a channel.
I mean, it might be a very nice person. I have no idea. I don't know. I just
idea.
don't know. I don't know.
But we wish him well.
Wish him well. But appreciate the invite. We just generally don't. But we.
Okay. Anna said she sent an email and it is titled "Shoes." Please ask this to Seth before you go offline. I don't think he's in the chat anymore.
Yeah, she wants to know if KP and Sebastian wore the same size shoes. I'm not sure he knew what size shoes Katie wore. They hadn't been married for several years.
Oh, wow. Perfectly Imperfect Boy's mom did some work for us. He is playing video games.
Yeah, so I can go play games. We could go do some Warcraft or something like that.
Well, that's awesome. Good for him. You've been our Middley tried to teach him how to play Fortnite once, and that was a mess.
Oh, it drove him crazy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, we need
I know.
to go.
I know.
Oh, me too.
But please tell Alabama John, thank you for the opportunity, and we appreciate him.
We respectfully
And as
decline.
Real Me Too says, we respectfully decline.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's let these good people go on to
Yeah.
somebody else.
All right,
Let 'em
thank
go
you,
visit
everybody.
Some other friends, and I'm sure there's some other great channels right now.
I'm sure there are.
You all have a good night, and we know
Someone
that you
did say
Go check
that's
out Alabama John.
a troll that popped on Jen's chat last night. So maybe it's a troll that just goes on people's lives and tells you to go on.
Just tries to connect random people to get each other. Is that- Hey, Alabama John, I'm here to. Who are you? This is a gaming channel. What are you here for?
That's actually a really funny
Pretty good
idea.
prank. Pretty good prank. Yeah,
That
it might
is
work once in a
funny.
while.
He's a gamer.
Is he not big on being summoned? I know.
Okay, sorry, y'all.
Actually, I hope it's a
Send
prank.
him
That'd
a
be funnier if
text
it was a
that
prank.
Maybe the old Alabama John troll. So funny.
Yeah, I'm hoping this was a prank. That'd be more fun.
That would be really funny if it is.
Yeah,
If
that's a
that's
good
a
prank.
prank, that's a really good prank.
Yeah.
And-
It's actually a
and
pretty
when
good
we-
idea for a prank.
That's going to be our new name for when we prank people.
Yeah. You've been Alabama John. Trick people into going up on other people's panels.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Woo. Okay.
Gary
All right.
Mercado just pops up on Queen Bee and he's like, "Oh, you called me." No, what are you talking about?
And you have like that thing that comes on the screen, Alabama John.
Yes, you've been Alabama John.
Okay, stop.
All right, that's a good way to end.
Unicorn of Hope. I will send him that information on the Vedic Society. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff to check out.
Crazy night. Crazy
Yeah,
night,
yeah,
guys.
she's in the loopy land.
I'm in loopy land. All right.
All right. See you,
All right.
everybody.
Have a great night. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to everybody who sent super chats and super stickers and sent memberships. We appreciate you guys so much. And we know you could be anywhere, but you chose to be with us, even Alabama John. So thank
He's
you.
not with us. He just
Okay. You guys have a great night.
See ya.
Thank you to our moderators.
everybody.
Did I say that? Thank you to our
I'm sure you did.
moderators. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you.
Good night.
Good night.
We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine a light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine on